every 49ers preseason game on Sactown Sports. KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Rillard with your Sactown Sports headlines. Colts running back Jonathan Taylor has requested a trade, but the team has named him to the non-football injury list. ESPN says sources said he reported back pain during a pre-training camp physical that was not sustained while playing for the team. Taylor responded on X, formerly as Twitter. 1, never had back pain. 2, never reported back pain. Not sure whose sources are, but find new ones. The U.S. women's team faced Portugal for a chance to advance to the round of 16. U.S. will advance with either a win or draw tonight against Portugal. The U.S. does lose to Portugal. They can still advance with the Netherlands loss to Vietnam. Kickoff is tonight at midnight. Those are your headlines. Now let's get to Whitey and Watkins.
They're going to take it for a W.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car. It's a show specifically for you, Sacramento. Whitey.
She got a new song out of this anyway. Hoops, I Did It Again. So that's right. Hello, is this on?
Nope.
Watkins.
I'm sorry. I know I don't want to be the wet blanket on everybody.
It's Whitey and Watkins, and it starts.
Hurry up!
Now.
You know, Chris Watkins, I try not to get upset about what people write when it comes to the NBA offseason during the silly season. Not much going on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People just going for clicks and,
Right.
everybody's
right.
struggling for content at this point.
Mhm.
So you're getting real creative at this point in the offseason, especially if you're specifically an NBA writer, football's starting to kind of get into the swing of things. But
Yeah.
right now you're definitely fishing for views right
So
now.
it's a personal rule. I'm not going to overreact to something someone throws out there to try to get people to react. And yet I find myself wrestling with what Grant Hughes has posted at Bleacher Report. Top 5. Well, actually, he ranks the most overrated NBA players, and he has 5. Number 5, DeMar DeRozan, Chicago Bulls.
Interesting.
To me, right there's like, huh?
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if anybody is really out here saying DeMar DeRozan, DeMar DeRozan is somebody who's, underutilized or, not talked about enough no one's really, I don't think, saying DeMar DeRozan is anything more than what he is. So yeah, that's an interesting way to start the list, but okay, sure.
Number 4, Kawhi Leonard.
That's just not true, but sure. He's
hurt.
Injuries, injuries definitely play a factor. But when he played, a good stretch the second half of that season, he was incredible. I don't know if he's underrated. I think
Or overrated.
overrated. I'm sorry, overrated. But sure, injuries. I get
a great
it.
player gets hurt a lot.
Yeah,
absolutely. A great player,
a fantastic
gets hurt
player.
a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's what everybody knows who follows it.
Yep,
that's the reality. Number 3, Jonas Valanciunas.
I'm sorry.
I know. Overrated. He's not even rated.
Yeah, exactly. Part of being
He's
overrated.
a nice player, but
no one's having Jonas Valanciunas conversations. Nobody is out here saying Jonas Valanciunas. Nobody really talks about it, but he's way better than Steven Adams. Nobody is talking about Jonas Valanciunas. He's not even on the grid. Really.
Yeah. Valanciunas looks like a star if viewed through a 1996 lens. Well, who's doing that? Nobody looks at him and says he's great.
No.
So it's like you just whiffed on that one. Number 2, now we've got somebody who's overrated, Dylan Brooks.
There we go. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay, the first time this list is starting to make sense.
It took him 4 players to figure out what he was doing, but he finally figured it out.
Does he maybe mean overpaid? Because I think overrated means that it's overrated. It's like a conversation has to be had about this person. Overpaid is obviously maybe a little bit more fitting is, Valanciunas does make 16, 17 mil and Dylan Brooks is now making $20 million. But,
Yeah.
I think Dylan Brooks is probably the first person that you've listed on this list that actually probably belongs on this list.
Yeah. Overrated essentially means everyone thinks this guy or this woman, they're great. And they're not as great as everyone thinks. Everyone overvalues and overrates this person.
Right.
Dylan Brooks, and actually I think the reality
think
as far as the
pendulum
perception
swung, right?
is coming back around. And I think a lot of people realize, oh, he's not that good.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know that anyone ever thought he was that good.
No one, I don't think, was ever like, Dylan Brooks is actually a key piece to Memphis' success. I think everyone's kind of understood that he is a piece, but he is definitely not the straw that stirs the drink there in Memphis.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
But who cares about that? Number
No
one
one
on the
cares
list,
about
DeMontis Sabonis, Sacramento Kings.
Rage.
The
Rage.
most overrated player in the NBA, according to Grant Hughes.
For real.
And Bleacher Report.
What is the reasoning? He's got to have Bleacher Report always has their little blurbs after. What does the little blurb after Sabonis say for him?
May I read it?
Please, because I have to know.
Him.
Because there's got to be,
on?
especially for number one.
Hello, test. Well, start with the fact that he was essentially outplayed by Kevon Looney in the Kings' first-round loss to the Warriors. That series swung in part on Sabonis' inability to shoot from the perimeter, put the ball on the floor in space, or defend the rim. Those three shortcomings mattered far less during the regular season when opponents did not study up and force the Kings center out of his comfort zone. Those are interesting points, and there's varying degrees of validity to each of them.
Yeah.
But to go from there to most overrated player in the league, that's a journey that I'm not willing to make.
Yeah, that doesn't quite equal up to me. And I know he struggled during the postseason. Sure, struggled, but he did not fall off a cliff completely. Like, he still averaged 16 and somewhere near 11 or 12 rebounds per game. That's just absolutely ridiculous to me. That's overreacting to one disappointing playoff series. And at worst, Sabonis is like, if we were to really be saying, okay, I'm not the biggest Domantas Sabonis guy, he is the fourth, fifth best center in the NBA. Like, there's no way you could have, like, right now, I would say the conversation is Sabonis is the third best center in the NBA, clearly behind Jokic and Embiid. Those two guys, 1 and 2 in the MVP are,
Third team all league. You're right. Yeah.
Made third team all NBA. The only other center I could see really even stepping into the conversation is Bam Adebayo. And even then, I think, again, like, where do you have Sabonis after that? Like, there's no way he's falling to 5 or 6 or anything. Like, I just think if he's overrated, it's by one spot in terms of the center list. It's a ridiculous take. This is exactly what we're talking about when we're saying he's clearly fishing for something here.
Years ago, when the Giants were, like, when they were playing the A's in the World Series, so late 80s, Kevin Mitchell was an MVP one year and Brett Butler was on the team. And he said, I'm surprised you said this, but I've never forgotten. He said, Will Clark is a great player. Kevin Mitchell is a good player who had a great year. It's like, Sabonis is a good player who had a great year. He may never be third team all league again. He may, he may not. But because he had a great year and everything came together, I don't think that means he's overrated.
Yeah, that's actually a great way of putting it. Yeah, I think
he's a good player who had a great year.
Yeah.
And he may have another one.
I think,
but no one is sitting there going, he's the best center in the league. No one's saying that.
Yeah, nobody is saying it. And I think maybe
not even Ryan Mauser says that. And he's a Nazarene guy.
I think that there is maybe.
You have to know how crazy you sound right now.
Especially locally, maybe sure. But what local fan base isn't going to get overly excited about their guy? Absolutely, here in Sacramento, we probably overhyped Domantas Sabonis and how close he is to being like a Nikola Jokic. His play style is incredibly close, but obviously Jokic can do things that just nobody, not just Sabonis, but nobody else in the NBA can do. So maybe locally, sure, we overrate him, but I don't think the national conversation has ever been that about Sabonis that it's gotten out of control. I think he's always been talked about as a supplementary piece. If anything, he's talked about less than De'Aaron Fox is. So I don't really understand where, in terms of the conversation that's happening about Sabonis, I don't think he's ever really been, overrated. I just don't ever think anyone's ever talked about him more than he is.
If we're being honest, and I think we are around here, which is, I think we tend to get, a little silly about Kings, but I think most people around here know, this guy's a really good player, but frankly, he's like a Joker light in a lot of ways.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
He's not as good as him, but he does a lot of the same things. But I think even the most diehard Kings fan would say that. Yeah. So who's overrating him? He just had a great, even the guy even says he's a 3-time All-Star. He just finished 19.1 points a game, 12.3 rebounds, 7.3 assists. Yeah, that's what he did. He may not do that again, but that's what he did.
Right. I mean, but he also might do that again. And even if he does do it again, he's not going to be talked about any differently than what he is now. I mean, I think he can be viewed. I just don't, and this is no shot to Sabonis. He will never be a top 2 center in the NBA as long as Jokic and Embiid are playing. And I think everybody knows that. And I don't think he's in any sort of, danger of reaching into that conversation in terms of, danger in terms of being overrated. Like, that's when we can have the conversation of maybe we're talking too highly about this guy. But, as he stands right now, I think that, he's properly rated. If not, again, like maybe if you want to have the conversation, which we've had before, that he's overpaid at this point, sure. But that's a completely different conversation than being the number 1 most overrated player in the NBA. That's just absolutely insane.
Pike 916, early candidate for chat of the day comment. He didn't even win a Beanie. I hadn't thought of that.
That's a great conversation. I mean, that is a fantastic point. Like, I mean, we're talking about a guy who walked away from the Beanie Awards without a single
empty-handed.
Completely empty-handed. Like, that's if he were overrated, he would have been walking around. He would have looked like Kevin Huerter.
He would have needed a shopping cart
exactly
to get all of his beanies out of the wherever we held the awards.
Yeah, wherever
I forget where it was.
Undisclosed location.
Big E on the chat says all the casuals watched Sabonis play 7 games last season and decided he's trash. That's true.
A fantastic
point,
but
it's also a valid point. That's one of the things Sabonis, assuming they get back to the postseason, he still has to prove. And we talked about it before the series even started when I was lucky enough to be in here with you. He hasn't been a very good postseason player.
Yeah. Sure.
Can he do it again? Can he be a good player in the postseason? Those are legitimate questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
He had a great year.
I think all of those concerns and questions are very fair, like about his postseason success. He hasn't been able to show it. Last year was also the first season that he's been in the postseason where he's been that like main focus for a team on the opposing side. Like the Golden State Warriors were clearly hyper focused on trying to slow down Sabonis's impact on that game. He's never been the focal point of another team's game plan in the playoffs. So he had to adjust to that. That was new. That's also, you could argue, an excuse, but I think what Big E says there is completely true, that just, frankly, a lot of people didn't watch regular season Kings basketball. And if you only watch the postseason,
you're talking about nationally.
Yes, nationally, absolutely. I think if people would have
thought he was good,
watched the regular season, exactly, that's what they were going into the postseason with, the mindset of, I was just told that this guy was, top 5 in MVP and he's this great center who nobody watches. And then you watch the postseason, sure, you're going to be disappointed.
May I say one more thing?
I hope so. Yeah.
Getting outplayed by Kevon Looney, there's no shame in that. Kevon Looney is good. Now, I know you say, well, you're third team all league. Kevon Looney, what's he? Kevon Looney is a great offensive rebounder.
Absolutely.
It's a bad matchup for him.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to
the Kings
reopen
need
this
to win that match.
Yeah.
They did to win the series, but Kevon Looney's not some scrub.
Did Kevon Looney, and this may go hand in hand, and this is a legitimate question, did Kevon Looney outplay Domantas Sabonis, or did he out-rebound Domantas Sabonis? Embarrassingly out-rebound him.
Yeah, you're right. That's how he outplayed him specifically.
Yeah,
had a huge impact on the series.
And it had a huge impact, absolutely. But that's making it sound like Sabonis did nothing else or provided no other value to the game besides just getting killed on the glass. Sabonis, by the way, still averaged 11 rebounds per game in that series. It's not just on him to grab rebounds. Whatever. It's fine. It's the article in total is just completely ludicrous. Yeah. But Sabonis being number 1.
What's ludicrous is that you and I started it, so it's mainly on me that we allowed ourselves to get emotionally invested in this in the first.
Exactly. Place. And you know what? I probably wouldn't have been so riled up if he's number 4, number 5. Maybe I could say, I understand now. Maybe some could view it as a disappointment, but him being number 1 is just like, come on, man. That's out of control. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
There's at least 3 guys, maybe 4 that shouldn't even be near that list.
Yeah. No, I would say 4 of the 5 people don't deserve to be on the list. Kawhi doesn't deserve it. DeRozan, Valanciunas, and Sabonis, just no need. So, you know what? Let's not give this much more thought.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. We got that out of our system. When we come back, the latest on, Chris Duarte is going to be playing this summer. I'll tell you where. Also, as baseball's trade deadline nears, we have a report that, guess what? Some MLB owners They're not crazy about this whole Ace to Vegas thing. Can you believe that?
I actually can't believe that. That's actually really surprising.
That's coming up here with Whitey and Watkins on where else? Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. The Kings are running it back.
Hammers it off the dribble against Gobert, and he was fouled. Oh my, what a take that time by Domantas Sabonis. Eludes Gobert. Drive strong. Two-hand flush off the dribble. Thrown down by Trey Lance.
And welcoming some new faces.
Yes. Toby Jones for 2 more.
Now they go to Duarte in the corner for 3, and he rains it down.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Enjoy the prime grilling season today with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My personal Napoleon P500 series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Chris Watkins, Jeff, trade deadline fever with MLB's trade deadline approaching tomorrow, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Just awake all night, checking.
All night.
I'm still going to say checking Twitter.
Yeah, checking Twitter. Definitely not going to support.
No.
The other.
You mean X?
No, I don't. I mean Twitter.
I love how I was watching Sports Center over the weekend, and now on their, whenever they show people's X, are they being called X's? Do we know? Like instead of tweets, is it X's?
Not
No?
sure yet.
No clue. Okay. Well, when they show tweets, I'm still going to call them tweets.
Yeah.
They say like source X, formerly known as. I hate it. And then all the Chris was showing me before the show all the Elon Musk hanging up the X sign in San Francisco, and that's causing a whole bunch of stuff. But
why?
Yeah, no,
Why?
I will be not tuned in to X until midnight tonight. I will have my Jeff Passan tweet notifications on, but
good.
That'll be
Yeah.
the extent of my MLB trade deadline scouring the internet.
What are the Giants going to do? A lot of indications that they're going to look for infield help. Maybe someone like Paul DeYoung of the Cardinals. Maybe they're going to try to bolster the pitching staff. The Dodgers have been busy. The Rangers have been busy.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants are just cruising along.
Yeah, I mean, they're not much to do about anything if you're the Giants. I mean, they're just looking. They feel really comfortable with their guys. I would suspect that they, should attack the bullpen. I think we were talking, or I was pointing out numbers the other day about their hitting stats the last 30 days. They can absolutely use some pop in that lineup, but they seem to be leaning into these young guys, and we'll see if that'll be good enough to take them to the postseason. But
yeah,
should be an exciting night for sure for him. Paul
DeYoung doesn't necessarily hit a lot, so a lot of people are not crazy about that. But right now, the Giants are holding down the first wild card slot.
Can't believe it.
Yeah. And it's really tight though. We're looking at basically for the wild card, you got maybe like 7 teams battling for the 3 wild card spots. And of course, some of those factor into the division races as well.
Yeah.
So more than ever, baseball's like the NBA.
Love it. I mean, that helps. I
Down
mean,
the stretch here.
Nothing's better than a good, postseason race, and baseball is absolutely right now shaping up to have a good one, go all the way down to the stretch, and that's why tonight's going to be so important, because tonight's going to be where you really can position yourself down the stretch. I mean, if you go all in on tonight's deadline, like you can really make some impact on the standings for the rest of the season.
Yeah, there's been some talk that Alex Wood might get traded. So Giants a team to keep an eye on. Farhan typically doesn't go in for the big splashy moves.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah,
Chris Bryant got a couple years ago because the Cubs basically gave him to the Giants. Other than that, the Giants don't
work out.
It's
too well
more kind of a methodical, and I think Farhan's done an amazing job with them.
He's got a lot of flack. I feel like it's been talked about a lot more about the guys he didn't get instead of the guys that he does bring in. And yes, I mean, the big misses, the Aaron Judge is a miss. Even going back to Bryce Harper is a big miss. Carlos Correa fiasco this offseason was a big miss. But I mean, they continue to put together winning products. So, I mean, you can't really be too upset. It's just they have to make that move, especially at this deadline. It feels like, if you want to make that leap to actual serious contender, you gotta, you gotta get some pop in your lineup for sure.
A lot of teams were looking at Bellinger's having a great year, but the Cubs are playing so well that they understandably are like, it's kind of like with the Angels and Ohtani. We're not trading him. We're all in.
Yeah, incredible. I still can't believe that Ohtani isn't going to be moved. I get it. I understand. I understand the Angel side of it. You don't want to do it. You want to try and, while you do have him, you want to try and make it work. Exactly. Maximize the opportunity. But man, oh man, you can just get so much for a guy he's gone. He's not coming back. And I just feel like as a value proposition, it's the right move to move on from him and just admit defeat.
Maybe if they win something, maybe he stays. And if they trade him, he ain't coming back. So a guy of that magnitude, some have called him the best baseball player ever, although I proved last week that he can't be. Yeah. But a guy with that kind of drawing power and skill and everything, that magnetism, you don't get them very often. So you have them, you might as well maximize your chances
for sure
to keep them.
I would just, I think for a guy, I mean, I'm sure they've kicked the tires on what the return would be. It's just for a guy that, is so coveted. And I know, obviously you're not going to give up everything for a half season of Ohtani, but I just think if you're a team like the Giants or any team that feels like they have a tiny chance of getting Ohtani, I feel like this would be the best way of doing it. Though, I mean, I guess if the Angels aren't willing to play ball, then it's a moot conversation.
So anyways. Paul DeYoung is a guy to keep an eye on. Michael Lorenzen is a guy the Giants during free agency they pursued. He's believed to be on the market. So we'll see where the Giants go. But to consider where they were, you mentioned the Correa fiasco when they thought they had Carlos Correa. And then that fell through, and it was so embarrassing and humiliating because they had just lost out on Judge when it was actually, erroneously reported they had him, which wasn't their fault. Then they sign him, they're going to have the press conference, and then the whole thing falls through. And it was an embarrassment to get from that point to where they are now, where they're in really solid position, haven't clinched anything. To me, that's remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, again, like the conversation keeps being about who they didn't have, and shout out to Farhan who just kind of continues to put together really good lineups. I mean, it is a pretty unspectacular lineup, and that's where people like me kind of fall off. And I want to be excited about the Giants; they're playing really well, but for people like me who just are really attracted to star power, there's not really much of any star power there on the Giants, and I think that's not just necessarily
that is the criticism
appearance, but like actually on the field as well. It feels like they just kind of need that difference
maker to win the game.
Absolutely, and they're winning the games, which is why at the end of the day, I don't really see. I understand not being excited about the team and wanting to always have some big star, but at the end of the day, the results prove out that Farhan's doing a fantastic job.
The other thing about Farhan is he's one of those guys about whom you don't always know what they're going to do. Some GMs, there's rumors and things are leaked, and you're just sitting there waiting for it to happen. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Farhan's more like, oh, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
Which is kind of like Jeff Petrie was.
The best way of doing it.
The very best ones, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely the best way of doing it.
Meanwhile, as far as the A's go, interesting update from John Shea of the Chronicle. He says, I heard from industry sources with close ties to MLB ownerships, that is. Some owners of low-revenue teams are upset that the A's are receiving preferential treatment, no relocation fee, for example, and that high-revenue owners aren't thrilled that the A's benefit from increasing revenue sharing, but don't seem to transfer the money into their baseball team, including payroll.
Right.
So it's not just fans are upset about the A's. Other owners are saying, what? Why are they getting all these special favors?
Yeah.
And why aren't they putting money into their product? And we are basically footing the bill for them.
Yeah, that's a great question.
We're underwriting what they're doing.
We've been waiting to hear. Why don't the owners actually come out and say it instead of reporting it through reporters? Like, I think it would do a lot more justice, and this makes me just feel like the times of when those Las Vegas lawmakers were making all of these points against, why does this make sense for the city of Las Vegas, XYZ? But then when push came to shove and it was time to vote, they didn't necessarily back it with their votes. So it's good to hear that there is some level of concern and all of these very real criticisms are coming out, but will they back it up with their vote? That's what I'm more intrigued in, actions speak louder than words.
The A's have begun the application process after securing up to $380 million in public funds to construct a new stadium. The move would end up providing the A's with upwards of $50 million from revenue sharing in 2024 and 2025 combined, according to Forbes.
Man, I mean,
that's what this is really all about. The owners want them to go somewhere where, all right, they can make money and we don't have to continue to shovel them money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now it's like, oh, wait, what? They moved there and we got to do what?
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't understand why the A's were just being let to skate by here. And you mentioned the lower, smaller market teams are upset about the revenue, or I'm sorry, we're upset about the relocation fee.
Yeah.
The bigger
How
market.
can you waive the relocation
That doesn't
fee
make
for them?
like, especially to move to a city like Vegas, like you could get I don't know, just the entire situation.
Plus, you got the ballpark plans that we talked about Friday, where they're going to the architects, the A's aren't saying, yeah, the mock-ups and stuff. Forget that.
The funny thing is the Vegas legislatures were also like, hey, the good thing, I know that this guy is terrible, but the good thing is we won't have to pay an expansion fee, which is going to be about $1 billion.
Yep. And I mean, that's the biggest asset to me that they've been given here is that they're not going to have to pay that relocation fee. And, that's where the other owners can absolutely, I mean, that gets broken up between all of the owners. And I don't see why the other owners would accept that. Why is anybody helping John Fisher in this situation?
Well, we had to do that to get Vegas to approve the move. Okay, well, why do we want to move the move so bad?
What's the rut? Like, why is this the move to make at this exact time? And why are they moving all of these obstacles out of the way to make sure that this happens? None of it's made any sense.
Coming up next, football started. Camps are open. You hear about that?
The Niners are wearing pads today.
Really?
So, like, actual football is starting.
So am I.
Yeah.
What do the Niners need to see from Trey Lance, and how soon do they need to see it? That's next year. Whitey and Watkins. Full pads today. Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins.
Showdown Sports.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
to go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring today.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Learn more at chase.com/business premier. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Account subject to credit approval. Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank. Any member FDIC.
The extracurricular activities, the traffic, the nightly homework, the traffic, the finding time to eat dinner together as a family, the traffic. Back to school can be stressful. Thanks to Ziploc, meal prep doesn't have to be. New Ziploc bags with Stay Open design have a patented stand-up bottom that helps keep the bag upright and a top grease that folds and holds for easy filling, unlocking a second set of hands in the kitchen. If only it unlocked a second set of lanes. New Ziploc brand freezer and storage bags with Stay Open design from S.C. Johnson, a family company.
If your Medi-Cal is ending, Cover California is here to help. Cover California is a service from the state that helps you get affordable health insurance. In many cases, at no cost to you, just like with Medi-Cal. We have quality health plans and will help you every step of the way to get the one that works for you and your family. So, if you're no longer eligible for Medi-Cal, check out Cover California. We'll keep you covered. Learn more at coveredca.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Mosley Collins Injury Lawyers present the 6th Annual All-American Rib Cook-Off, Saturday, August 12th at Recreation Park in Auburn. Now a Kansas City Barbecue Society-sanctioned competition. Get your rib ticket at allamericanribcookoff.com and enjoy live music, the Kids Zone, and more. Thanks to Auburn Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Garrison Brothers and Commercial Van Interiors. Proceeds help Crime Victims United and other local charities. Tickets are limited, so get yours now at allamericanribcookoff.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Colts running back Jonathan Taylor has requested a trade, but the team has named him to the non-football injury list. ESPN says sources said he reported back pain during a pre-training camp physical that was not sustained while playing for the team. Taylor responded on X, formerly Twitter. 1, never had back pain. 2, never reported back pain. Not sure who sources are, but find new ones. The U.S. women's team faced Portugal for a chance to advance to the round of 16. The U.S. will advance with either a win or draw tonight. If the U.S. does lose to Portugal, they can still advance with the Netherlands' loss to Vietnam. Kickoff is tonight at midnight. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Hats on, but the mic's not. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. On the text line here from the 916, as far as that article from Bleacher Report, I don't even know. It may not be an article. What do we call it? A post?
Yeah.
That Domantas Sabonis is the most overrated player in the NBA from the 916. That article is clickbait at best.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Pike 916. Why is Draymond not number one?
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean,
I do pay attention when, and I think the Athletic does this, when they ask players who's the most overrated. And Draymond finds his way. He actually, I think, in all fairness, finds his way onto both the overrated and underrated lists.
I mean, if you want to go by that series, he was benched.
Christopher Ladd with a fantastic point. Yeah, I mean, Draymond, if you look at his numbers too, I mean, it's a lot of single digits in there. It's a lot of the triple single has been made a thing from Draymond and kind of made a meme from him. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about a guy who averages, I mean, last season 8.5 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists as well, which, we know that more speaks of the totality of Draymond, but he's making $25 million per year now.
He honestly is not what he used to be, but is a really good defender.
He's an incredible
defender. Holds a defense together like Earl Thomas used to with the Seahawks.
Yeah, definitely. Like he is their floor general. Like he is their captain.
Like Bob Sanders with the Colts.
Absolutely. Like he orchestrates everything. I mean, the Warriors defense does not exist without Draymond Green, and he definitely deserves all of that credit, but he's not the guy that he used to be. I mean, he's now 33 years old, is a guy who's definitely lost a half step, if not a full step, and, never really had much size to begin with. And I think, we talked about it when we talked about him possibly signing with the Kings. I think these next 4 years are probably going to be a pretty significant decline from Draymond, and yet his price tag has gone up and up and up. So,
but he took less. To go with the Warriors.
That's right. Allegedly, he allegedly took less.
Was it significantly less?
Yes,
significantly less.
Which there's no way.
It might have been Saudi Arabia, to be fair.
Exactly.
He'd average 12 a game in the Saudi.
I think so. Oh, he would go crazy, like 12, 8, and like maybe even another 8.
So they decided, as we all know, they looked at it and said, we can't win without him. If we want to win, we need him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's he is incredibly important. He's incredibly valuable, but if we're talking overrated, I mean, sure. Like he's, at this point in his career, I would say he's probably not the guy that he people view him as from the past.
He just shoots like he has a backpack full of bricks every
That's
time.
what everyone has said. Yeah. It's like the hunch and everything.
A little bit, yeah.
It's not
Collison had a little bit of that too.
He did.
Derek
He had a
Collison.
little hitch in his shot for sure.
Yeah.
A little lean forward too.
Beeman on the chat talked about the Giants. The 107-win season was the worst thing to happen to the Giants in the last decade.
Interesting.
Gave them false hope that we can win with a bunch of washed-up veterans. No reason we aren't spending more as one of the biggest markets. I think the reason, Beeman, is, it's not that Farhan doesn't want to spend money. It's that I think ownership doesn't want to spend the money. And that's one of the reasons I brought Farhan in.
Mm-hmm.
Can you put together a competitive team without spending a lot of money? And given his experience that he had with the A's, I think he said, I can do that. And that's what he's doing.
Yeah. No,
it's not
he's
like,
done it,
why won't he spend the money? Well, because he's not supposed to.
Yeah. And I mean,
that's
he's
part of his job.
He's tried to go and get the other guy. It's not like for without trying.
Well, that's true too.
He's definitely not building out the entire, he's not building the Dodgers here where money is clearly no obstacle, but he's thrown some big dollar figures out there. It's
When
just,
people
at some point
really
they gotta
got
sign,
vocal
too.
about it and saw what the Dodgers have done, of course, and then San Diego went nuts. And so they tried to get Aaron Judge and they tried to get Correa.
Yeah.
But now they, beginning of the year, a lot of people are like, oh, this is terrible. And look what they're doing. They're winning.
Yeah. No,
they have been falling off. So they need to do something if they're serious about winning this year. Now's the time. This is what you do in baseball. Put together a team that's going to get you to the trade deadline in good shape, but then you got to do something else. So we'll see.
Do you think it's one move or multiple moves? I think they need to improve their pitching and also their lineup definitely needs some sort of boost.
Yeah.
Some sort of consistent boost. And however they can get that.
He knows that.
Yeah, I mean, he's no dummy. I mean, if I can tell you that, I can guarantee that Farhan is very aware. It's just, those you also got to put together the best package as well. Like, these things aren't easy.
And it looks like kind of a tough market because you've got teams that are in it still, like we're not going to trade. And so the teams that are in it, there's a lot of competition for the guys that are available.
Yeah.
So this will be a real challenge.
It's a seller's market, as they like to say, right?
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I was like,
it's
tough sometimes. Yeah. I mean, I think with the deadline tonight, it's now or never, and the Giants are they're in a really good position. I mean, I thought before the season that this was just screaming going to be a 500 season. They've definitely outperformed it, but I think, like you just said, I think it's really clear to me that the Giants need some sort of boost right now as they've kind of slipped a little recently, and then had a couple wins here recently to get them back up to the top of the wild card. But they need something if they want to be like actual title contenders.
Yeah,
they're pretty far away.
Campio Silva says they're sneaking up on the Dodgers in all caps. Giants creeping up on the LA Dodgers, but you look at what the Dodgers have done and where the Giants are right now, and they're probably going to have to do something if they want to keep that trending in the right direction.
Yeah, no, I mean, and this
Dodgers.
Unless the Dodgers are going to be like the Phoenix Suns of last year and make these big splashes, and then
what was really weird was seeing the Giants playing the Red Sox this weekend, and the Red Sox have Kenley Jansen and Tormund.
Yeah.
From
seeing Kenley, I was told that I was told here a lot that I looked a lot like Kenley Jansen. I don't believe
really.
I don't believe so.
A little bit.
I don't
Justin
believe so.
Turner. When I say Tormund, Justin Turner.
Yes, Tormund, obviously from Game of Thrones. Yes. No, I definitely don't.
I would say you look more like Kenley Jansen than I do look like Sasha Vezenkov.
Did someone say you look like Sasha?
Yeah, it was who said that about me? It was one of the felons with Rami.
Huh.
Oh my gosh. What?
That may have to be a poll question, maybe not.
Yeah, who looks more?
It's Bobby Gerald.
Bobby Gerald.
Bobby Gerald said I look like Sasha Vezenkov.
Huh. Okay.
I'll have to look at some side by sides, but I don't see it.
You do look more like Kenley Jansen than he looks like.
It's the smile.
That's Vezenkov. Real quick, I know I said we were going to revisit what's going on with Trey Lance. What do you think Trey Lance needs to show the 49ers, and how quickly does he need to show it to them for them to say, yeah, we're part of our plans going forward?
I think that's such a tough question because I don't know if Trey really fits like what Kyle wants to do, but I think the thing that he can show that would make him, I think, a lot more sexy as an option to stay and keep around would probably be just showing that dual threat, quarterback thing that they initially signed up for, that they thought, and, I know that he's just wasn't the guy that they thought he was. Some of his running ability, I think they thought he was a little bit more of a, not necessarily Lamar Jackson, but they thought he could run outside of the tackles, and he's a little bit more of a power runner, if you will, a little bit more of Jalen Hurts than Lamar Jackson.
They thought he might be like a Vic Lamar Jackson hybrid, and he's not.
He's not. No, he's more of a power runner. Yeah, like a Jalen Hurts. But just showing that level of I always struggle with this word, dynamism. Dynamism. Why do I can't do that? I think that's really the thing that can set him apart. I mean, he can open up the playbook more than anybody else can with his running ability and his massive arm. I think that could be the thing that just keeps Kyle Shanahan looking at him like, man, if he can put all of that together consistently, like that's the thing that just nobody else can provide. That could just ascend them to a whole different level.
I think that next year after this season, so the next off season, that's when they'll have to decide about his 5th-year option. So this year he's got to show them something.
Got to show something.
And I'm sure they would, if they could get a lot back for him, they would trade him, but no one's going to trade a lot for him now.
No.
I mean, even really, really good proven quarterbacks, you don't necessarily get a big haul back in a trade.
Yeah. I mean,
so they need to see a lot this year, a lot of growth. And a lot of it's been the injuries with his finger, and then last year breaking his leg. So, and then, the pandemic, and he couldn't really learn how to play quarterback. But at some point, those are legitimate reasons, if not excuses, but at some point that's all well and good, but we got to see that you can play
exactly. Yeah, I do
at a
think
high level. You just have to at some point, and it's got to start really
Step
soon.
one is probably health. I think you're right there.
Yeah.
Like, can he stay healthy for 2 or 3 months in a row? I think would go a long way. And just okay, that's check number 1 done. I mean, he's got to stay. It's obvious you got to stay healthy if you want to continue to have impact. And with him kind of sliding into a backup position at this point, he's not going to have a lot of opportunities to show what he can do on the field. So number 1 is staying available and staying ready if anything goes bad.
Consider this, Chris. We're going to talk top of the hour about the new quarterback tiers. Mike Sando writes about them every year in The Athletic, and he talks to 50 people around the league whose job it is to evaluate players. So it's not a writer's opinions. It's people who do this for a living.
Mm-hmm.
And this year's list, again, we'll spend more time on it top of the hour, but you got Mac Jones on there, like tier 3. You got Brock Purdy, like right up against tier 3, tier 4. And of course, Trey Lance isn't even on it.
Right.
So you go back a few years ago when he was drafted, and you think, okay, Mac Jones is going to be in a few years. He'll be on the list. And so will Brock Purdy. Be like, wait, who?
Yeah. What now?
Brock what? Yeah. And Trey Lance isn't even on there.
Yeah.
So clearly things haven't gone anywhere close to what was planned.
Right.
So at some point it's got to be, you just got to produce.
You got to show something. I mean, yeah, there needs to be some hype around him, and he needs to, the thing is, where is he going to get that opportunity? Is it going to be the preseason? Is it going to be in trade packages? I mean, people, it can't just be in practice. People aren't going to, your trade value isn't going to go up because reporters are saying you're killing it in practice. You've got to show it on the field if you're going to raise his value. And, at the moment, it doesn't seem like he's going to step on the field unless, something goes wrong with Brock Purdy if he goes down via injury. I mean, I don't think that he's just going to, I don't think he's going to get a lot of trade packages or anything like that. I think they'll be sparing, but I don't think enough to show something real.
Hey, this could be the poll question. Not sure yet, but what do you guys think of this? Who closely resembles who more? Is it you, Chris Watkins, and Kinley Jansen? Is it Christopher Laud and Sasha Vezenkov? Or is it Carmichael Dave and former Cleveland Cavaliers Idrunas Ilgauskas? I don't know if you remember him.
Probably Big Z. Yeah. I would say I'll have to look at a picture of Ilgauskas right now. But I'm gonna say Dave and Big Z. That makes sense. Dave does get big, like
maybe.
Dave could be a 7-footer.
That's a possibility.
Face, for sure.
Up next, there is good news out of Niners camp, and there's also news that's really not as good. We've got both next. Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. Jimmy G and the Raiders take on the 49ers Sunday, August 13th from Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. And Sactown Sports has all your coverage.
Kyle's offense versus Josh's offense is just different. mindset behind it. So I think revamping the mind like that is the first step, and then just relearning the language. Basically like going Spanish to French, something like that.
The voice of the Niners, Greg Papa, has the kickoff at 1 p.m. on Sactown Sports.
Your home for the 49ers.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hello, Sacramento. Doug Christie here, and I have something to share. Recently, I asked myself to determine the one most indispensable thing I use to do my job, the one I couldn't do without. The winner, forget the phone, which I live on, and the video editor, which makes my life understandable. The winner was the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Yes, the one I tell you about each week keeps me going comfortably supported, pain relieved, and vital. So it strikes me that if Good Feet is the most important go-to tool to relieve pain or just keep me going, shouldn't you give it a try? I think so. Come to the Good Feet store today for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Relive racing history with hundreds of historic race cars at the Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion, August 16 to 19. Hundreds of the best, from the high-revving Formula One Ferraris and Lotuses to the ground-pounding thunder of the Cobras and Corvettes. Meet legendary drivers, indulge in delicious food and refreshing beverages, and take a spin on the Ferris wheel or go-kart to add to the family experience. VIP hospitality passes to the Legends Club are still available. Buy your tickets now at WeatherTechRaceway.com.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pi customer.
As a small business, we're always looking for ways that we can offer the quality product and get some cost savings.
Meet Michelle from J.J. Pfister Distilling Company, a small business in California. When looking for workers' comp coverage tailored to the company's needs, she discovered Pi Insurance.
We heard about Pi Insurance being geared for a small business, gave Pi a call, and ended up switching.
Is your small business overpaying for workers' comp insurance? See how much you could save at trypi.com. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate, so your workers' comp audit experience is simplified.
We saved about 30% off of our workers' comp insurance when we switched to Pi.
It's as easy as pie to get the savings you deserve. What are you waiting for? Ask your agent for Pi. Or get a quote in 3 minutes at trypie.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Everyone knows that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers. And that's especially true when it comes to your air conditioning system.
A precision tune-up and professional cleaning costs a little bit up front, just $87, but will prevent much bigger, more expensive, and inconvenient problems later.
We actually replace systems all the time from people who don't get annual tune-ups. They either forget or they just don't realize it's important. So instead of their systems lasting 12 or more years like they should, they need to be replaced in just 6 or 7 years.
Don't risk it. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Call Bell Brothers for an $87 air conditioner precision tune-up today and keep your system clean, energy efficient, and in good working shape.
Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
No surprise guys, Bell Brothers. Marvel and Rivercats baseball unite. Marvel Defenders of the Diamond Night returns to Sutter Health Park on Saturday, August 5th when the Rivercats host the Reno Aces. Purchase the Defenders of the Diamond ticket pack and get exclusive access to a pregame meet and greet with superheroes Captain America and Black Panther. You'll also receive a limited release New Era hat featuring a Marvelized Rivercats logo. The fun continues postgame with a fireworks show presented by Sutter Health. Join the fun and purchase your tickets at rivercats.com.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
All right, I know it seemed kind of random when I said, hey, lookalikes. You got Chris Watkins has been compared to Kenley Jansen. You got Chris Verlaut has been compared by Bobby Gerald, you said, to Sasha Vezenkov.
Mr. Vezenkov.
And I threw out Carmichael Dave and former Cavalier Zydrunas Ilgauskas. What did you guys in the studio think of that comparison? It was like, what?
It's the young Zydrunas does give like some Carmichael Dave vibes for sure.
Uncanny.
Yeah, like some of them, like it's like one of those quick glances, and I look at Big Z with hair especially, and I'm like, that's like he's Carmichael Dave's cousin or something. Like he's at least related to him. They have a lot of similar features.
Okay.
But even bald, he looks like, oh, I'm creating a character. I'm creating Dave, and I haven't gotten to the hair yet.
I'm glad you guys feel that way, because I always, when he used to play, I'd watch Ilgauskas. I go, that's Carmichael Dave, isn't it? So, all right.
Oh, Chris got me with that one. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I see it. No, like I didn't see it before. Like when I look at him bald, I'm like, I definitely don't see Dave here. But now that Chris says it, I do see the creating a player without Dave's hair.
The problem is, if we did a poll, we can't put pictures, can we?
Yeah.
So we'd have to do it
we can't.
on the artist formerly known as Twitter or something.
That one got me. Yes, yeah, we would have to do it on. I think, X would. Well, who knows what Elon
X is going to give it to you.
He will. Yes, we will give it to you on X. Absolutely.
Good news and news that's not as great coming out of 49er camp. Which would you prefer to start?
Let's do I'm sorry, news coming from camp.
News from camp. Some of it's good, some of it's not as good.
We'll do with the not so good.
Not as good.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa did not report to 49ers training camp last week. No word on when that might change. As you know, he's looking for a contract extension.
I would say that's not very good.
Sunday, Shanahan gave no indication that the two sides have made progress. I haven't heard anything, so no updates there. And it's not expected that he was not going to practice until things were taken care of. But general manager John Lynch said this week that the challenge with getting a deal done is that Bosa is such a special player. I know Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, says this is a challenge the team should have had in mind since Bosa has been eligible for a new deal since the end of the 2021 season. Whatever planning they did has not resulted in a deal yet, and the sooner that changes, the better for the 49ers defense. Well, okay, relax. I mean, this is, far from being anything they need to panic about, but it is a little unsettling that I think it's been, 6 days now, and they're still trying to get Nick Bosa into practice.
Yeah, I love the fact that John Lynch, the problem, the difficulty is Nick Bosa is too good. That's really the problem is when you're too good, it's really tough to figure out exactly how good you are.
Doesn't it sound like, hey, we know you're worth that, but we can't pay that? So
that's exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like they're very aware of what the number
an interesting negotiating stance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not great. And I think, Bosa is probably just, sticking to his guns. He's probably really adamant that he feels like he should be paid. Now, the question is it more than Aaron Donald, or is it, does he feel like $30 million is enough? I think Aaron Donald's getting $31 million per year. So
there's so many different ways you can look at an NFL deal.
Yeah.
How much is it? How much of that is guaranteed? What's the annual, yearly? Yeah.
I mean, there's tons of different
thing
things.
is a guarantee.
Absolutely. And, and Bosa does deserve, and to his credit, he deserves everything that he's going to get, every single penny. If he's paid more than Aaron Donald, he absolutely deserves it. He's a star on the rise and somebody who's already produced. So, I mean, you can absolutely justify doing it. It is a little unsettling, like you said, that it hasn't been done yet so far, because I don't think Nick Bosa is going to show up out of shape. I don't think there's any concerns that he won't be ready to play week 1, but it is also one of those things where, you want to take care of your best guys and get them in the building and establish the culture and establish, you want to set the tone for what's going to be the rest of camp. And, it's hard to do that when arguably your most talented or your best player isn't out there.
How do you feel about him not practicing until he gets it settled?
I think it's fine for now. Like we said earlier, today is the first day that they're having pads on. So today's kind of the first real day. You'd probably like Bosa to be there today. So, I would say as this thing goes on, it gets, more and more concerning that he's not here. I would want him here. I would have wanted him here day one. Actually.
But if your coach, would it upset you? I mean, it's business. Like, I understand. You don't want to go out there, pull something, then all of a sudden you don't get the deal, which, Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's
if I was the player, which, it's like, I know this is hard to imagine, but I would, as I've said earlier, I know camps are not as brutal as they used to be.
Yeah.
But I might tell my agent, look, what are they offering? Okay, I would take that, but not now. Because maybe in another couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like,
I mean, see if they'll give us more in the meantime. If they don't, I'm fine with that. But I'm still going to relax for a couple weeks.
I'm in no rush to be yelled at, to be, sweating out there on the football field, doing pretty mindless drills. Again, like, this is Nick Bosa. What are they really going to be doing in practice that's going to make Bosa significantly better? It's not like he's got to learn routes, learn a playbook or anything. Like, it's pretty cut and dry for him. Get to the quarterback by any means necessary, and the rest will figure itself out. I think there's not really a need for him to be here, but except for, team camaraderie and, just having, your best players there for camp. But yeah, at the end of the day, like, it's really, and again, maybe this is a bigger concern. Like, Debo last year showed up out of shape, and, you want your guys to be in prime shape, but I have no concern that Nick Bosa is not going to be in shape.
Okay, so that's the not so good news. I didn't say it was bad news.
No, it's just
not so good
great.
news. The good news is that Kyle Shanahan says about Brock Purdy, I think he's done great. He has come back. He's had no arm troubles. He's been totally healthy.
Yeah.
I think he's getting all his timing back, his rhythm. I was really impressed with his first 2 practices, and I think yesterday was one of his days off. They've got it scheduled now. So no sore arms for Brock Purdy as far as the health goes.
Yeah.
Fine. He's fine.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, they have him. They seem to have him on a pretty strict regiment of off days, on days, and even when he's on, he's not throwing a crazy amount. But it's good that in his first action back, he's not feeling any sort of soreness. That's going to be a positive in terms of them. I assume they're going to ramp him up as they put on pads now here. I think. I mean, there's no negatives to take from that. That's just all positive there, that Brock Purdy seems to be, adjusting well to his post elbow surgery.
Coming up, this is really interesting. It's Mike Sando's annual list of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, according to those who make the decisions on player personnel around the league. We'll tell you why NFL insiders rank Mac Jones ahead of Brock Purdy. Next, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
One, the only, the great leader of this great city, Mayor Darrell Steinberg.
It was just time to tell the public that we have actually been working very hard on this. Kevin Nagel, Todd Donovan, my office. But when we got a good and great connection to the Stronach Group, we decided, let's go and let's see if we can make this happen. We have a chance. And in part, it's because we've all stuck together.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Hey there, it's Carmichael Dave for my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, a great local company I've been telling you about for a long time, that prides themselves with everything they do, which is a big reason why they've had an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. And check this out. They're now hiring technicians. That could be you. Looking for a new job? Guess what? They'll train you. They'll coach you. They offer great pay and health benefits, retirement, 401k, even paid leave. Man, if this radio gig doesn't work out, my goodness. They're also offering a sign-on bonus for experienced technicians. So, hey, listen, if you're looking for a change, you're looking for a new job, what an opportunity for a really great gig. Call American Energy if you're interested. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990, and tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
At Simply Safe, your safety is the only thing that matters. Introducing 24/7 Lifeguard Protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Gain presents a tale of longing and long-lasting scent. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Add Gain scent beads for an even longer lasting scent.
Are you ready for the deal of a lifetime? This week only, get ready to rev up your savings at elkgrovekia.com. It's the biggest sale event of the year, and you won't want to miss it. The doors swing wide open every day at 9 a.m., and we're unleashing the biggest selection of pre-owned and brand new vehicles you've ever seen. With so many options to choose from, you are sure to find the car of your dreams. But hold on to your seatbelts, because here's the best part. Our prices are so low, we can't even air them. Yes, you heard that right. Our prices are slashed to the bone, and they're so incredible that we can't even broadcast them. You have to come down and see for yourself. Don't wait. This is a 1 week only event. And to make it even better, you can drive away with your dream car right on the spot. No waiting, no hassle, just instant delivery right on site. Remember, the sale of the year happens this week only at elkgrovekia.com. Doors open at 9 a.m. sharp. Don't miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Elk Grove Kia, where the biggest savings and the hottest wheels await.
Elk Grove Kia.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Mosley Collins Injury Lawyers present the 6th Annual All-American Rib Cook-Off, Saturday, August 12th at Recreation Park in Auburn. Now a Kansas City Barbecue Society sanctioned competition. Get your rib ticket at allamericanribcookoff.com and enjoy live music, the Kids Zone, and more. Thanks to Auburn Toyota, Sacramento County Sheriff's Department, and Foothill Paint and Drywall. Proceeds help Crime Victims United and other local charities. Tickets are limited, so get yours now at allamericanribcookoff.com.
Listen to Oakland A's baseball on the weekends all season long right here on Sactown Sports, beginning with the pregame show brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam team.
Can we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Relotti with your Sactown Sports headlines. Colts running back Jonathan Taylor has requested a trade, but the team has named him to the non-football injury list. ESPN says sources said he reported back pain during a pre-training camp physical that was not sustained while playing for the team. Taylor responded on X, formerly known as Twitter. 1, never had a back pain. 2, never reported back pain. Not sure who sources are, but find new ones. The U.S. women's team faced Portugal for a chance to advance to the round of 16 tonight. The U.S. will advance with either a win or a draw. If the U.S. does lose to Portugal, they can still advance with the Netherlands' loss to Vietnam. Kickoff is tonight at midnight. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Sounds like things between Jonathan Taylor and the Colts are not in a good place.
Not great.
No.
Definitely not great. So Jim Irsay had some weird comments about it. Did you see? He was like, if I die tomorrow and Jonathan Taylor isn't in the NFL anymore, no one's going to think twice about it.
I saw some of that, and to be honest, I forgot about him
saying.
because I just wasn't sure what the point was, and I just sort of swept it out of my mind.
It's just weird.
I know he said we're not going to trade him, not now, not in October.
Exactly, and that's the main point, is that it doesn't seem Jonathan Taylor can, claim injury, he can not claim the injury, whatever, but if he's requesting a trade, it sounds like he's not going to be moved over Jim Irsay's dead body. So, yeah. Good luck with that.
The latest chapter in this ongoing saga
as the wheels turn.
Unhappy running backs.
Yeah. It's like a soap opera. It really is.
But why talk about running backs when you can talk about quarterbacks?
Exactly.
That's my quarterback. 2023 quarterback tiers results are in the Athletic today. What does that mean? Well, every year Mike Sando gets commentary from coaches, executives, who, of course, they are granted anonymity so that they can speak freely. So you got 30 veteran quarterbacks here broken into 4 tiers, and actually the panel consists of 8 GMs, 10 head coaches, 15 coordinators, 10 executives, 4 quarterbacks coaches, and 3 involved in coaching / analytics. So these are people who evaluate football players, specifically quarterbacks, for a living.
Yes, quite literally.
Doesn't mean they're right, but it means their opinions hold more value than some guy at Bleacher Report who goes, I don't know, Sabonis is the most overrated player.
Yes,
right?
So this actually matters. Yes, no, this is a true, this is about as real as you can get of a football opinion from football people.
Tier 1, the elite quarterbacks, the guys who can win games for you on their own, no flaws in their games. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Rodgers, Herbert.
Nothing wrong there.
Right.
Absolutely nothing wrong there. Those are the top
maybe Rodgers shouldn't be.
Maybe at this point in his career, for sure.
Maybe
you have the argument.
Grandfathered in there on some of these.
Yeah, he is.
Some of these categories.
I mean, with him losing last season, you can't really say he wins it on his own.
Yeah,
It's a good point. It's a good point.
And yet the experts did. But you're right, Christopher Laud. Your objections are noted. Tier 2 can carry a team for stretches, but may have a hole or two in their game. Hurts, Jackson, Lawrence, Prescott, Stafford, Watson, and then somehow Kirk Cousins made it.
Yeah,
So
I actually
that's
think
tier
Matt
2.
Stafford's the one that doesn't belong there. I mean, maybe this is a full season removed from the Super Bowl trip, and obviously had some injury woes last year. I don't think Matt Stafford is going to be that guy anymore. I feel like he's on the definitely on the downslope of his career.
I think we could agree, though, he has been that guy in the past.
Yeah, for
the
sure.
two that I'm not sure about Watson, just because I don't know what he is right now, and Dak. But okay, these are the people that
Sure,
don't,
exactly.
Yeah,
Who are
supposed
we?
to know what they're doing. Tier 3, legitimate starter, needs a good running game and a good defense to win. Murray, Carr, Goff, Wilson, Tua, Jimmy G, Daniel Jones, Smith, Fields, Tannehill, and are there 2 Joneses in there?
Mac Jones.
Yeah, Mac Jones, right, and Daniel Jones. Yeah, so that's tier 3. Mac Jones just makes it into tier 3 somehow.
That's this is also like the meat of everything. Like, this is by far the largest tier of them all. I feel like this is too big of a tier. Like, I would have split this up into 2 different ones. I also, I don't know. I think that a lot of these guys, like, I think Kyler Murray is in a different tier than clearly like Jimmy G and Daniel Jones. Like, not much better, but I think that there's definitely some form of separation between Jared Goff and Ryan Tannehill.
So you're not saying Murray should be a tier 2 guy.
No.
You're saying Jimmy G should not be a tier 3 guy.
Yes. That's probably where more I fall. Although I think Jimmy is fine Jimmy's probably the end of that tier that I would accept. I think Daniel Jones, Geno, Fields, Tannehill, and Mac Jones are kind of in a separate tier where I think those guys I just need to see more out of those guys. Everybody else up on that list, Tua as well. I'm not super high on Tua, but I understand the hype there.
And finally, tier 4, unproven or vet who should not start 17 games. Purdy, Pickett, Love, Mayfield, Howell, Ritter, and Minshew. So Brock Purdy ends up tier 4, the top of tier 4. Again, according to the league insiders, he actually got 1 vote for tier 2, which tells you that either Lynch or Shanahan was part of the panel. And he got 23 votes for tier 3.
Yeah.
So he just missed on tier 3. And it's interesting to read the comments, the anonymous comments. One of these evaluators says of Brock Purdy, when I looked at him, I thought he was a 4. But when you watch the kid play, he's an absolute gamer. He has the intangibles, the moxie, the want to, the leadership.
Yeah, he's got all the other things. He's got the it factor, I guess, if you will. I think he probably he does. He belongs in that tier above tier 4. I mean, I know he's at the start of tier 4, so it's kind of semantics at that point, but they have him listed in the tier 4, and so
it's just because
I just think that's not right.
These people need to see more. The evaluators.
Which is fair, but I would say the same thing about a guy like, Brock Purdy has shown as much as Mac Jones. I think he's shown more than Justin Fields as a quarterback. Like, Justin Fields was a terrific runner last year, but as a quarterback, I think he definitely deserves to be in tier 4, the descriptor of tier 4, a lot more than what Brock Purdy does. Brock Purdy won 2 playoff games.
Yeah.
How many of the guys in tier 3 have even had 2 playoff wins in their career? I don't think a majority of these guys have.
Well, it's really close. You're right. They're in different tiers, but Mac Jones is the 23rd ranked quarterback, and then Brock Purdy is 24th.
Yeah.
And that's where they separate the tiers. But still, Mac Jones is just essentially 1 slot ahead. One of the reasons is a lot of these evaluators say that you can throw last year out because of the Matt Patricia, Joe Judge nonsense going on.
Sure. I mean, I guess, yeah, well, you can make excuses for everybody if you want, but
a few voters did drop Jones into tier 4.
I think that's definitely more of where Mac Jones belongs. He's definitely more in this is a big prove it season, I think, for the Patriots in total. I mean, we've talked about Bill Belichick being on the hot seat, but I think Mac Jones as well. Like, this is going to be a big indicator of where he is as a quarterback and if he can be their future franchise quarterback. I think he's, especially after last year, left a lot more unanswered than answered. So
yeah.
I have a lot to see from him before I view him as like a guy that I definitely want to see for 17 games.
I'm with you. If this is right, it's not going to be right for long. 23 Mac Jones, 24 Brock Purdy, 25 Kenny Pickett, 26 Jordan Love.
Oh, wow. That's bold. I mean, we haven't seen we've seen one game out of Jordan Love. I think he's played in his career so far. I mean, that's really surprising that they have him that high. It might be just because he's a Packer, I guess. And the other guys are all like definite backups. I mean, below him is Baker Mayfield, who it will be starting this year. Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder, Gardner Minshew, all those guys are pretty much backups. So he is kind of the last available starter, but or starter, presumed starter quality guy. It's whatever. I can't deal with Purdy at 24. I'm not even like a massive Brock Purdy guy, but I look at it and I'm like, 10 times out of 10, I'm drafting Brock Purdy over Mac Jones. I think I'm taking Brock Purdy over Ryan Tannehill at this point in his career. Brock Purdy over Justin Fields. I mean, Fields shows a lot of potential, obviously brings the running dynamic as well if he can figure out a little bit as a passer, but I feel like Purdy probably belongs a lot closer to Geno Smith. And, I'm not a big Daniel Jones guy, but if Jimmy's going to be 18, I feel like Brock Purdy's got to be trailing him right there.
This quote really explains to a degree how the evaluators are looking at Brock. Some are not overly impressed. Quote, and again, we don't know who this is. This is a coach, GM, quarterback coach, analytics guy. The quote is, you put him on any other team and they lose more than half the games.
Wow.
Actually, this is an offensive coach. We know that. They got the best rushing offense. They got the top defense. He doesn't make mistakes, and he makes some plays with his legs. He gets the ball out. Good for him. So that's like
boy,
patting him on the head. So not everybody is sold on him yet.
That
could be somebody
crazy.
who passed on him. Seriously,
right.
Said, nope, he's not that good. You'll see.
Right.
I know I'm right because we could have had him and we didn't want him.
Right. All these evaluators are kind of covering their tracks here. I mean, they're like, I looked
You're
at
not
it.
that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Maybe it's
good
him.
for him, man.
I mean, he's confident in saying it, but I think that, at some point you got to look at the facts and you got to look at the play. And yes, I mean, Purdy's team is absolutely stacked and he definitely benefits from it, but he's still out there making plays and making throws. I mean, that's more than what a lot of people can say. It's kind of crazy to me, and I get the logic behind it, but to use someone's team against them, like, he's still having individual success in himself. Like, we've seen other people operate in the offense, and Brock Purdy just clearly looks the best. I mean, Brock Purdy looks better than what Jimmy Garoppolo looked like in this same system with these same weapons. And I don't understand why you would downgrade him just because everybody else on his team is also really great, but he's still got to put the ball in their hands as well.
Yeah, I think even the people that are trying to compliment him are
backhanded
a little bit. He has the intangibles, the moxie, the want to, the leadership. Well, he's also a pretty accurate thrower.
Right. Yeah.
And I think the things that Brock Purdy does well are really hard to quantify.
Yeah,
as far as
absolutely.
just seeing things and knowing what's going on and knowing where to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's not leadership, but it's an ability that it doesn't necessarily show up except in the SR one or whatever.
Oh, the cognitive test.
Yeah,
whatever that was.
S2,
yes. I think it was S something.
Anyway,
yes.
That's one of the reasons I think people are having a hard time with him. The things he does well are things that they're just really hard to measure.
Yeah. And I mean, he also doesn't fit the profile, like the size profile of a quarterback either. Like, he's a smaller guy. And, I think people look at, big 6'3" Mac Jones and, 6'3" Justin Fields. And they're like, oh yeah, what Purdy does is he's really exciting and he's cute and whatever. And what he's doing is all fun and dandy. But, if you put him on any other team in the NFL, he'd struggle. You can't say that. Like, that's not a fair criticism to have of somebody. I mean, what would any of these
experts don't understand what they saw last year, and they can't believe it. It's the S2, by the way, the S2 cognition test.
Cognition test.
He just
through the roof.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's a huge part
He
of
broke the
quarterback,
machine.
Is you got to be able to process things quickly and make decisions in really quick time and in very real time. And he excelled at that. And also, like, he was just thrown into the situation after not really having any of the credentials to succeed, and still succeeded. It feels like no one's giving him in this rating, at least, no one's giving him the credit for actually going out and being head and shoulders better than expected, and not using that already, being wrong and, forecasting that into his future. It feels like they're like, no, we know who he is. We saw who he is. He's going to be that guy, instead of reevaluating after what you saw him do, which was just, if you, again, like it even says in there, when you watch the tape, the kid can play. Like, if you watch him play, you can't not look at him and say, wow, he should not have been picked in the 7th round. And maybe we were all completely wrong about who he is and who he can be moving forward.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he belongs in tier 2 or anywhere close to tier 1.
He was barely right on the cusp.
Yeah.
The way they judge it. He just barely missed tier 3 for what that's worth.
I just think he belongs higher up on the list in general. Even like the tier is wrong completely, but I think that he belongs in the category.
Where will he be next year at this time? He'll be where?
I think he'll probably be more towards the middle. I would guess more towards 15 through 18.
I bet you he'll be tier 2.
You think?
Yep.
That'd be a massive, massive jump. I mean, that would be huge at that point. He's moving into top 12 quarterbacks. It could happen.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Coming up here, Aaron Rodgers says exactly what Chris Watkins said somebody needed to say to Sean Payton. Next here, Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins. Sactown Sports.
The NFL season is right around the corner, and Sactown Sports is your new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Intercepted and coming back the other way. Talanoa who fucked up. Touchdown! San Francisco! The big bad wolf!
Catch every 49ers game this season on Sactown Sports.
Hello, Sacramento. Doug Christie here, and I have something to share. Recently, I asked myself to determine the one most indispensable thing I use to do my job, the one I couldn't do without. The winner, forget the phone, which I live on, and the video editor, which makes my life understandable. The winner was the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Yes, the one I tell you about each week keeps me going comfortably supported, pain relieved, and vital. So it strikes me that if Good Feet is the most important go-to tool to relieve pain or just keep me going, shouldn't you give it a try? I think so. Come to the Good Feet store today for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports.
Chris Watkins and I think Chris Verlotta as well have some issues with Aaron Rodgers being ranked among still the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, according to 50 league insiders. Elite. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Rodgers, Herbert. Elite.
Yeah. I mean,
no flaws in their game.
Yeah. I mean,
I would say you can even take Herbert off of there.
Interesting. I mean, for sure, he is not to the level of those first 3 guys. I wouldn't have any issue if Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen are in a tier of their own, and then you kind of have Rodgers and Herbert, and maybe even throw Jalen Hurts in that as well.
You want too many tiers.
I do. I think I just need more tiers. I mean, I could use more tiers. Absolutely.
So they only have 4. That's what he does. That's what Mike Sando has every year. So you only 4.
Need more tiers. Need more tiers because I mean, frankly, it's just it's. I guess it gets the conversation going, but Jalen Hurts and Kirk Cousins in the same tier of quarterback. Sorry, that's
there's only 4 of them.
Not correct.
Right?
Well, if there were more, then this list would make more sense. I love the
Speaking of tiers, did you go see Tears for Fears this weekend?
I did not.
I didn't know. If you did, I hope you had a great time.
Hope you had a great time.
Yeah. We have tickets today for what show?
Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Yes.
Yeah. The world is a vampire. Yes, we have that coming up. Anyway, there's only 4 tiers. Aaron Rodgers is in tier 1. Okay?
He is.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, like, it's fine. Aaron Rodgers continues to be talked about as one of the greatest cornerbacks of this generation. And
why you say it in a funny voice?
Because the dude's only got 1 Super Bowl. He's got the same
kind of
amount
lucked
Super
into
Bowls
that one.
Exactly. He's got as many Super Bowls as Joe Flacco, but everybody wants to.
I think his numbers are a little better, though, aren't they?
Just a little bit, but who's really paying attention to numbers? Numbers are tough. How many times do I have to say that?
How many MVPs is Joe Flacco in?
Look, you're focusing way
I
too
just
much.
asked a
You're focusing
question.
on the wrong things here. Okay.
I just asked a question.
He won a Super Bowl MVP?
Boom. Thank you, Chris. Got my back. Yeah, whatever.
I meant regular season, but that's true.
It doesn't matter. You asked what you asked, okay?
Yes, I did. Yes, it is what it is. Of course it is.
It is
Everything
what it is. Exactly.
Everything
Your
is what it
favorite.
is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
But
I never thought of that.
Yeah. Wow. What great insight. It is what it is. Guess you can't do anything about it. I just think the dude is at this point in his career, he's 37, 38 years old. He's,
I still think he's 39 and you have a hard time
39.
with that.
Yeah. Well, it's he tries to give off these young, youthful vibes, by doing, all of these recreational drugs. He's trying to stay young, and I can't keep up with his age, I just think he's not. I think he's still very, very good and definitely in the top half of quarterbacks, no question, in the NFL. But, having him in the same tier as Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes, who just on a weekly basis are lifting their teams and doing insane things. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is still capable of that, but we're going to find out this year as he gets his choice of team and, has handpicked all of his receivers and all of this stuff. So it's going to be a big year for Aaron Rodgers, still that guy.
I'm surprised you're so critical of Aaron Rodgers, especially because I think we have proof now that he listens to you.
Yes.
Because last week, Friday, we talked about what Sean Payton had said. It's Thursday and Friday, right? Was that a 2-day?
It was a 2-day dealio. Yeah, it was Thursday.
Where he talked about how, yes, exactly. Thank you. I'm right.
Got an idea.
How Nathaniel Hackett had been guilty of one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. We talked about that.
Quotes, direct quote.
So Aaron Rodgers, he had a response to that. Here's his response to what Sean Payton said about a coach that Aaron Rodgers is fond of.
It made me feel bad that someone who's accomplished a lot in the league is that insecure that they have to take another man down to set themselves up for some sort of easy fall if it doesn't go well for that team this year. Thought it was way out of line and inappropriate, and I think he needs to keep my coach's names out of his mouth.
Mr. Rodgers. He's very kind this year.
Yes.
But also he's going to stand up for his friends. He's no pushover.
Yeah, no, not at all.
But that's exactly what you said. Somebody
keep my teeth out your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that simple. I mean, and he was right for saying it. I think, it's like, Sean Payton, you got your own things to worry about. You got your own quarterback issue that you need to figure out. Your team was one of the biggest, if not the biggest disappointment in the NFL last year. How are you going to flip that on its head and make them one of the surprise teams of this year in a positive way? You got your own things to worry about, buddy. You shouldn't be concerned really at all about what's happening on the East Coast with the Jets and Hard Knocks and all that. And, I know he said he had his Fox hat on, but it's like, man, it's just unnecessary to go out and make those statements, and you're just asking for a ton of smoke that you probably don't want. This is becoming a much bigger story and a much bigger distraction than what I could ever imagine Sean Payton would have thought this would be.
Didn't somebody tell us that his Fox hat, when Payton said he had his Fox hat on, someone thought he didn't mean his Fox network, but like the Fox?
That was
me.
Fox yeah, I know.
I thought he was I was being too sly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You called yourself on it. Kudos to you for that. Here's the dumbest thing Sean Payton did and said and all that. The worst thing is just throwing another coach under the bus.
Ridiculous.
You just don't do that. Coaches know how hard it is to coach. Have respect for others who try to say, it was the worst coach job ever. That's terrible.
Yeah.
The dumbest thing is when he criticized the Jets, suggesting that they just wanted to win the offseason with the big deal that included the Aaron Rodgers acquisition. That's what the Broncos did last year when they got Wilson.
Exactly.
And I know he wasn't there, but hold on. That's just what your team that you're with now, exactly what they did last year.
Well, he already said that everybody last year was idiots and did everything completely wrong.
Yeah.
So actually last year, what he is also acknowledging that last year his team was full of idiots. But you're right. Like, I mean, again, like, why are you even talking about anybody else's situation? Even if you do believe that, keep that close to the vest and bring it out later, or bring it out in private. It was completely unnecessary. And you're, again, just bringing unnecessary attention to your team, which was kind of flying under the radar. I think a lot of people had, tempered expectations for the Broncos this year, but now with all of Sean Payton's comments, everybody is going to be looking at them. And if they get off to a slow start, Sean, you better be ready to answer some questions because you already know Aaron Rodgers is going to be incredibly petty about this in the future. I mean, you remember him.
Old Aaron,
I
don't know if Mr. Rodgers will do that now.
Stop it.
He may be above that.
No, stop it. He's never above being petty. You remember him telling the Bears fans, "I own you." That was
that was the old Aaron.
No, there is no old.
That
Aaron.
Wasn't Mr. Rodgers.
We'll see.
That was Aaron.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I don't think that Aaron Rodgers, who loves himself, loves being in headlines and loves to be petty, this is just a perfect recipe for Aaron to thrive in.
Do you know that Hackett coming to the Jets was one of the main reasons Aaron Rodgers went there? Because they fired Mike LaFleur, used to be with the 49ers, right? And that's why Saleh took him to the Jets. Yep. And they had to get rid of him to bring in Hackett and Aaron Rodgers because he loves Hackett so much. That was one of the things that greased the track for him to go to the Jets.
That was the one thing we didn't play that sound, but earlier in that same soundbite from Rodgers, just praising Hackett like crazy, like Hackett's my guy.
Great man, great
family guy,
favorite coach ever.
He said probably my favorite coach ever, which is, I mean, you can't back him more than that. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, this great phenomenal quarterback, saying this is my favorite coach ever. That's going to hold some weight. And so, it's just,
I like
just
the new
crazy.
Aaron Rodgers.
I like him more than the Packer
Aaron
Rodgers.
Jersey, maybe an Aaron Rodgers jersey.
Okay.
That I could wear when I'm with you.
Sure.
What do you think?
I'm going to see how my Aaron Rodgers relationship develops through this year. I've known his whole career as a Packer, and so there's just been that natural adversity, but who knows? Maybe I'll do a 180 now that he's not on the team. I mean, sometimes, once you finally get off, you start talking trash about that organization. Again, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So if Aaron wants to start trashing the Packers, maybe
he has a chance to become my second favorite Jets quarterback ever.
Who is number one?
Ken O'Brien.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Mark Sanchez.
Of course.
UC Davis finest, right?
That's right.
Nailed it. Yes, absolutely.
He could sling it.
That's what I hear. Yeah, my dad was a big fan of his.
Really?
Yeah. Never actually saw him play. It didn't pan out, correct? Like,
oh yeah, he had some nice
cup
numbers.
of coffee. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he was a really high pick,
I was
wasn't
playing pickup basketball once with him at Capital Athletic Club, and I was really nervous. And I did one of those things where I'm shagging balls, and
I
threw it to him, and he wasn't looking, and I hit him in the chest.
Oh, Whitey.
Sorry, I thought you were looking at us.
You're going to jam his finger or something. You could have.
Sorry, I thought you were a professional athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Oh,
Wouldn't
yeah,
have been
that
great.
was sorry.
Sorry, sir.
Aaron Rodgers would have caught that. Coming up, we have you seen this thing with Jennings and
Trayvon Diggs?
Yeah.
Super strange.
That is weird. We have it for you next year. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track, makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Byers Leaf Guard Gutter System and Roofing.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Monday forecast for this final day of July. It's going to look mostly sunny outside with light south winds. Afternoon temperatures in the mid to upper 90s with overnight lows in the low 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Wildfires can easily engulf vulnerable homes. Safeguard yours with the Byers Fire Protection Package. Our one-piece seamless leaf guard gutters, roof shingles, vent covers, and more will help prevent disasters when wildfires hit. Learn more about fire hardening your home at that'sfires.com.
Relive racing history with hundreds of historic race cars at the Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion, August 16 to 19. Hundreds of the best, from the high-revving Formula One Ferraris and Lotuses to the ground-pounding thunder of the Cobras and Corvettes. Meet legendary drivers, indulge in delicious food and refreshing beverages, and take a spin on the Ferris wheel or go-kart to add to the family experience. VIP hospitality passes to the Legends Club are still available. Buy your tickets now at WeatherTechRaceway.com.
Get ready for a night with Cole Swindown. The 2023 ACM Song of the Year winner hits Heart Health Park at Cal Expo in Sacramento, Saturday, September 9th for the CITP2 Fest. And Cole's bringing some friends like Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, Matt Stell, and more. Tickets start at $40 at CITPFest.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I gotta change the oil in my car.
Right now, get 5 quarts of STP conventional or high mileage with an STP oil filter for only $26.99.
Get in zone. And what do I do with my old oil?
We can recycle your used oil for free.
Get in zone. And I might need some help.
No problem. We have helpful how-tos at AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Carmichael Day for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Amateur players will be pleased to know that the USGA doesn't object to a friendly bet with your weekend foursome. Friendly bets include soft drinks after the round, hot dogs at the turn, or even a $2 Nassau, one of the most widely used bets in golf. It takes its name from the Nassau County Country Club of Glen Cove, Long Island, one of the many clubs frequented by the well-to-do in the late 19th century. As the story goes, matches between these clubs were often reported in the local newspapers, sometimes to the embarrassment of wealthy industrialists coming out the loser. The Nassau captain, J.B. Coles Tappan, then devised a format where the worst possible result could not be reported as anything more than a 3-0 defeat. In a Nassau, 3 equal wagers are placed on the first 9, the second 9, and 18-hole total. A $2 Nassau is sometimes referred to as a 2-2-2 bet. Some play better with a bet to keep their attention. Others are nervous at the thought of losing. Whatever your choice, golf is a game. Have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
to go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring today.
Can we make 10,000 thread count sheets?
For Lens Linens, staying in the comfort zone is never an option.
Maximum thread count we could possibly thread.
An industrial seamstress would make their sweet dreams come true.
I want it to feel like you're on a snowflake, on cotton candy, on marshmallows, on a cloud.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlod with your Sactown Sports headlines. Colts running back Jonathan Taylor has requested a trade, but the team has named him to the non-football injury list. ESPN says sources said he reported back pain during a pre-training camp physical that was not sustained while he was playing for the team. Taylor responded on X, formerly known as Twitter. 1, never had a back pain. 2, never reported back pain. Not sure who sources are, but find new ones. The U.S. women's team faced Portugal for a chance to advance to the round of 16. The U.S. will advance with either a win or a draw tonight. If the U.S. does lose to Portugal, they can still advance with the Netherlands' loss to Vietnam. Kickoff is at midnight tonight. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
I hate to do this, but I think I may in kind of a Twitter beef between a 49er and a Cowboy. Well, I don't know if I can give the decision to the 49er. I mean, I could call it a draw. Are you with me? You know where I'm going here?
You can call it a draw, but I'm calling it a Cowboy dub because I think I just think the Cowboys got the better end of this one. Sorry.
For some reason, Juwan
Jennings
went after Trayvon Diggs, and maybe it's because Trayvon Diggs signed a new deal. It's a 5-year extension that, again, you know, NFL contracts are not always what they seem. My understanding is it boils down to a 2-year deal worth $17.15 million a year. The other years beyond that, it's like Dallas can do what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They can live up to it, or they have options. But anyway, it's a very rich contract. So there's that. Trayvon Diggs signing that deal, and he's also selected again to the top 100 players, right?
Yes, number 60.
Yeah,
number 60 on the NFL's top 100 list.
So maybe it's for one of those reasons, maybe both. Maybe it had nothing to do with that Juwan Jennings of the 49ers felt the need to go after him a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I can't think of another reason why. I mean, unless that they're just really trying to lean into this NFC, this NFC rivalry between, or the NFC East rivalry between the Eagles and between the Cowboys. I mean, if for some reason, if they have this vendetta against those, I mean, obviously the Niners and the Cowboys, that rivalry goes way, way, way back. But yeah, I mean, I can't think of any reason why he would just go out of his way to call out Trayvon Diggs, really for no reason.
So Juwan Jennings, and if I misspeak here, Chris, please correct me. My understanding is Juwan Jennings took a clip from YouTube and posted it on Instagram. And I think it was not from last year's Cowboys 49ers playoff game. I think it was from the year before. It's been reported as being from last year's, but I think that was in Dallas. And there's a play where Juwan Jennings goes out for pass and Diggs is trailing the play, and he's looking back towards line of scrimmage, and it appears that it ended up being a running play. So while Diggs is looking back, Juwan Jennings
kind of blindsides him a little. Yeah, a little crackback.
Yeah, and just levels him.
Yeah.
Just
like lays him out. Yeah, he does lay him out.
And Diggs does get up, and he's asking for a flag.
Yeah.
There is no flag.
Yeah.
So Jennings just posted that clip along with the caption, "Can't wait to see him again." So
Don't know why he would do that.
Okay.
Yeah, he's calling him out.
There's no penalty, so that's a legal play, and you did destroy him, but he didn't see it coming. So
exactly,
it's not like you beat him on the play.
No, and it's not like some massive decleater or anything like that. Like it's a crackback block, but it's nothing more, nothing less than that. I mean, if you've seen one, you've seen them all, and there's nothing really crazy special about it. It didn't burst open like a huge Christian McCaffrey run or anything. Like it was a kind of dirty block, but I mean, besides that, it's just an everyday play, really, in the NFL.
So you thought Diggs had a good comeback to that?
Diggs had a great comeback to that because Trayvon Diggs specifically, more than any other receiver, just lines up against other teams' ones. Like he'll shadow Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk, but that's it. Like they don't just do left side, right side, or any of that scheme stuff. It's just straight up as your best receiver against our best corner. That is how Trayvon Diggs operates. Trayvon Diggs, in his reply to Juwan Jennings' post, says, and I want to make sure I get his exact quote here, "You will never line up in front of me in your life." Just plain simple, cut and dry. That is it. You will never in your life line up against me.
So that's a draw right there, huh?
It's not a draw. That's like a 10-7, as the kids say. No, that's a 10-7 round
clip,
right there.
Good comeback. It's play on. All right.
He might have. Yeah, Juwan might have gotten him in the first round with that block, but Trayvon off the floor. I mean, I think Juwan's about to block him again. It's going to be on Instagram. I can't imagine he's going to have any better comeback than that because Juwan Jennings just is like the third or fourth receiver. Like he will never ever garner that kind of attention, and that's a good way of Trayvon shutting him down for something that was weird to flex in the first place. Like it was just a weird. It's just all in all a weird situation.
That's what I say. I think it's a push.
Yeah, I if you want to say it's a push, that's fine. But
it's a Dallas Cowboy, all right.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. And unfortunately, the Cowboys won this matchup. I can't be a company man. I'm sorry. I gotta admit defeat, or I gotta call a defeat when I see it. And that's a 10-7 round of Diggs. I'm sorry. It just is. I don't know why. And the thing is, it's very avoidable. I don't know why Jauan Jennings decided to go so far out of his way.
He must obviously be seriously very proud of that play.
He must. Clip. No, for sure. Which is
Trayvon Diggs did what? Oh, you know what? I got a clip of him.
That's the thing. It's like Trayvon Diggs is being named the 60th best player in the NFL. Like, I mean, whatever. It's an accomplishment nonetheless. Jauan Jennings is not sniffing this list, and yet Jauan Jennings is going out of his way to try and call out Trey. I mean, there must clearly be something behind the scenes we don't know. You know, I would imagine that this isn't just about on the field. Maybe for some reason Jennings is upset that Diggs got paid so much. I think, you know, Diggs is, you know, a little bit overrated as a corner. He's kind of an all or nothing kind of corner where he's either going for the interception and he's going to get the interception, as he led the league, I think 2 seasons ago in picks and in pick sixes. But if he's not getting that pick, a lot of the time he's getting absolutely dusted. He takes a lot of risks. So
speaking of the Cowboys, I know we've been talking about the quarterback tiers. Tier 2, you got Dak Prescott in tier 2. Again, this is according to NFL insiders, coaches, and executives and analytics guys. Dak Prescott tier 2?
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th best quarterback in the NFL. I kind of like Dak, but that's too high.
That's too high. Seems like, yeah. I mean, it feels like, you know, he's somebody who's got a lot to prove. Like, I don't know why would you say Dak Prescott, like, what has Dak Prescott done in his NFL career that is more impressive than what Kirk Cousins does? And that's not me upping Kirk Cousins. That's me wondering, what has Dak Prescott done that is, you know, garnered the respect of being a top 10 quarterback. He definitely has put up some numbers in some years, but last year led the NFL in interceptions, and, you know, frankly, kind of, you know, he's left me always wanting more. I think he's got some talent. It's just never really been able to put it together for an entire season. And where is the playoff success?
A defensive coach said Dak has done it year in and year out. And this past year, I don't think it was through the health of an efficient run game. He always falls short at the end, but he puts up numbers. I felt like a lot of the load was on him last season.
Yeah, I mean, sure, to an extent, but also we saw Cooper Rush have a lot of success for that Cowboys team when Dak went out. So, you know, they used it as a negative for Purdy that his teammates made him really expendable. Why can't the same be said for Dak, who had 2 good running backs last year? Zeke was definitely on the decline of his career as he's been a free agent now, but Tony Pollard, who's now their starting running back, had a great year last year. They still have CeeDee Lamb. I mean, they have tons of receiving talent.
Listen to this. Are you sitting down?
Yes, I am.
A defensive coordinator. There's always a knock on guys who do not go deep into the playoffs. Dak can drop back. He is great with play action in the boot. He has some movement ability in the pocket. Ultimately, what keeps him from being a 1 is he turns the ball over for whatever reason.
That's not what's keeping him from being a 1. That is ridiculous.
So if he cuts down on interceptions, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Rodgers, Herbert, and Dak.
Dakota Prescott. No, I'm sorry. Like, I think tier 2 is
Are you a defensive coordinator?
You know what? I'm not. That's fair. That's a fair criticism. I'm not a defensive coordinator, but I feel like Dak Prescott is also just not
That seems insane. I'm with you.
I think he's
teasing you, but I think
I'm fine with tier 2, but number 9 is just too high. I mean, I don't know if I would have Stafford above him. I think Deshaun Watson, you know, if things are going well, could be a more dynamic quarterback than Dak, but I have a tough time thinking Dak Prescott is just that high up and that close to being a tier 1 guy. It's not just the turnover.
That's not right.
It is not just the turnover.
And you're supposed to know what you're talking about, defensive coordinator. Up next, Chris and I are going to see who can draft the better team of players who've had their numbers retired by more than one team. We'll explain why coming up next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. The Kings are running it back.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes. Alex Lynn just went above the iron with a 2-hand throwdown. And that was as nasty as we've seen him in a Kings uniform.
And welcoming some new faces.
Oh, and here comes Bazenkov. He gets the big finish.
Fisher rejected by Mr. Bazenkov.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at Sactown Sports SacktownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street. Right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Dawn or dusk, I'm on the hunt. Skeeter here, Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District, and I'm wearing Skeeter Vision, night vision goggles that light up skeeters at dawn or dusk like the 4th of July. Mosquito, 12 o'clock. Got him. So fight the bite by wearing long sleeves and pants at dawn or dusk when they're most active. Apply insect repellent and drain stagnant water. It's a breeding ground.
Dawn or dusk, the Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District reminds you to fight the bite. For more information or to report problems, go to fightthebite.net.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
to go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring today.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Learn more at chase.com/business premier. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Account subject to credit approval. Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank. Any member FDIC.
Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry, categories are filling up.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Yeah, and that actually brings up an interesting question here. Next hour, Factor Fantasy Showdown will resume, and I brought, make sure it's still here.
Where is it?
The crown of superiority. It should be over here.
You gave it to Draper. He might have thrown it away.
I think Watkins is hiding it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The winner of the Factor Fantasy Showdown gets to wear the crown of superiority, and I wore it proudly pretty much through the rest of the show. Friday. So if you win, I know that seems unlikely, but if you win, are you gonna pull it on your dome today?
You know, if that's what I give for winning, I mean, I'll do it. I guess. There
it is.
Okay, we thought we lost. I thought we were gonna have to use that clown wig.
You're gonna have to work a little bit harder to hide it next time, Watkins.
I guess so. There it is. Beauty. I don't even think that thing will fit on my head.
I'm still the champ, right?
There you go. Yeah, I mean, you're. Yep.
What good did that even do?
There's nothing. Like, there's no way that helped cushion anything.
I'm picturing like we need something to protect our hair out there because I'm coming out, my hair is all over the place.
Yeah, there's no way that actually protected any part of your skull.
Probably made it slightly less likely that you'd sustain a cut on your head.
Yes, I think that's it. It's definitely. I mean, they probably also didn't know what a concussion was back then.
No,
but
hey, you got your bell rung.
That's actually good.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it'll knock some
Means you
sense
did it
in
well.
Have a couple of cigarettes and go walk it off.
Exactly. Yeah. No, there's no way that was actually helpful in any form or shape. That's no.
Have you ever read about the early
test
days
it
of
out.
football before like Teddy Roosevelt came in with some other people and they made rules? I mean, people were dying. Just
No.
I don't mean occasionally, like a lot of people were dying playing football.
Really?
Yes. And it was almost
Sheesh.
outlawed. And then Teddy Roosevelt was a big believer in physical fitness. And he and some other, who would that have been? Some of the top football people at the time, they got together and said, we got to figure out how to make, like rules. And so they came up with the 4 downs and all that stuff. But yeah, the game was almost outlawed.
I would have loved to
because
see what it was played by
Passing the ball.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy because that feels almost like one of the more dangerous plays now.
Definitely, especially like over the middle and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Like, rugby scrums are probably a little safer than just sending people over the middle to have their linebackers take their heads off.
And now it's America's game.
Yeah. Now it's totally safe.
Yeah.
So nothing to worry, nothing to see here.
So you will wear it if you win.
I'll wear it. I'll do
Okay,
it.
good.
Hey man, that's the
All
price of entry. So got to do it.
I
Nothing
have
wrong
to
with
say
it.
one thing, and I don't like saying this. One thing I think the Lakers do well, the Los Angeles Lakers. Jeannie Buss was just talking over the weekend, I think it was Friday actually, about LeBron and will they retire his number? Will the Lakers have his number retired? Jeannie Buss said the standard for having your jersey retired as a Laker is when a player is inducted into the Hall of Fame. And you know what? It's like, that's well done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Got to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. And
Have to.
she said, I have no doubt LeBron will make it into the Basketball Hall of Fame. When he does, then we will retire his jersey. So the thing is, and by the way, LeBron and Bronny, we've seen video now, and Bronny's fine, and we don't know exactly what happened, but everybody's fine.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
You know that LeBron is going to have his number retired by probably 2 other teams at least.
I would guess. Yeah, I would guess all 3 teams. Yeah, all 3 teams he played for. There's no reason why not.
Which means he would become the 15th or so guy to have his number retired by multiple teams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean he's well deserving of it. I mean every single place he went, he won a championship. I mean that will get
That's
your
not
number
bad.
retired, I would say. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean not many people, if I think anybody can say that they won 3 titles for 3 different teams. I mean that's just again adding to the ridiculous career that is, I should say, LeBron James.
Now the question for him with the Lakers would be, well, which number are you going to have retired?
Both of them. I mean,
Yeah.
Kobe had both of them retired, and LeBron wore them both. I mean, LeBron wore 23. I think when they won the championship, has switched over to 6 twice now. I think he's been 6 for the Lakers. So, I would imagine both numbers are going to be retired.
So that brings us to our latest draft exercise. As you know, Chris and I, if you've watched, listened to the show for a long time, we like to go head to head and put together these different teams. The draft of NBA players who've had their numbers retired by more than one team.
Yes.
But we do have to set some ground rules, in my opinion.
Yes, I
Who's
think
going
we
to
have
decide
to.
this for Vlad?
I think Vlad should be the
Okay.
czar of all things.
Christopher Vlad, Your Honor, there are 3 players that had their numbers retired by more than one team who had their numbers retired by teams they didn't ever play for. For example, Michael Jordan, well, he's eligible anyway. We can throw him out because he has 2 teams. That
He only has one team. No, the
Well, that's
Wizards.
right,
The
that's
Wizards
right.
never
That's
retired
right.
his number.
The Bulls have retired Michael Jordan's number. So have the Heat, but he never played for the Heat. Kobe had his number retired by the Lakers and the Mavericks, and Bill Russell had his number retired by everybody. So do those guys count or not?
I would say yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And all be all.
I'm not going to pick any of them. Nothing against them, but
Okay, this guy's not going to take Bill Russell, Kobe Bryant, and Michael
need 'em.
Jordan. Gotcha.
Don't need 'em.
Okay, well then
Yeah.
you can go first because I think I know you just opened up my draft board quite a bit.
I'm going to take his number 33 retired by the Bucks and Lakers, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay, never heard of him. I'm going to go with my first round pick. I'm going to go with Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Yes.
Since you're not going to, I guess I'll just.
Yeah, I'm going to take Pete Maravich, his number retired by the Jazz, Pelicans, and Hawks.
Okay, I will go with Bill Russell, the guy who won 11 championships.
Actually, your team's shaping up pretty well.
Pretty decent. That's why I was a little worried about.
Why don't I just take his number retired by 3 teams? Wilton Norman Chamberlain. Why don't I just take Wilt freaking Chamberlain for my team? Okay. And who do you guys have?
I will go with you know what? Just to anger him, I'll go with Shaquille O'Neal. How about that? Shaq, big Shaq.
Russell, and MJ.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Charles Barkley.
Oh, okay. You know he never won a championship. I don't know if you knew that or not.
He's gonna win on this team.
Oh, okay.
Number retired by, of course, the 76ers and the Suns.
Just for team morale, let's go Kobe, because we know he's a good glue guy.
You got 3 guys on your team that really.
You said you weren't going to take them. This would not be a legitimate draft if we didn't take them. If they're on the board, I'm going to take them.
They shouldn't be on the board, in my opinion. That's why
well, that's why we asked for a third opinion.
Yeah. And because it was one of my favorites,
I'm playing with the rules that we were given.
Julius Irving, number retired by the Nets and 76ers.
It's pretty decent. Let's go. You know what? I'm going to go with the Big O, Oscar Robertson. One of his teams that retired his jersey is the Sacramento Kings. So got to go with the Big O.
All right. So who's your 5?
I have Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, and Oscar Robertson.
I have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Pete Maravich, Wilt Chamberlain, Charles Barkley, and Julius Irving.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question, if I'm being honest here, and I don't know if this has happened before, you win.
Yeah, I would say so.
Better.
Maybe, I mean, you were too moral. You had your morals way too much into your decisions.
Shouldn't have had. Kobe shouldn't have had his number retired by the freaking Mavericks.
That's why we asked Verlaud, and Verlaud was the end all be all. And I'm just going to go with what our Supreme Overlord Chris Verlaud says. By the way, Chris, great decision. It was a great decision.
Stay with us here on YouTube. We're not going to go away. When we come back on Sactown Sports, the NBA strongly worded memo on Dame Lillard. Will it make any difference? That's coming up. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports. I got to hand it to you. You've got a better team, more complete team.
You quite literally handed me that. I mean, by not taking 2 of the 5 best players of all. I mean, you got Kareem. That was definitely
you have 3 of the greatest winners in the history of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just kind of point blank period. That does. I mean, you've got great scoring for sure. You got Wilt and you got Kareem. That's going to be.
I just only have 1 guard, but.
Yeah, P. Maravich is a pretty good guard to have, though. And, Chuck is 6'4". You can play him at shooting guard, maybe.
Okay.
I feel like Chuck would be like Desmond Bain nowadays,
I don't know how that got away from me so quickly. I was very confident that I would still be able to put together a competitive squad, and I look at it as like, nope.
No. I mean, again,
I got some great players.
You let your morals get in the way. And as a GM, you got to put all that stuff aside. I'm the guy I'm going to take Laramie Tunsil in the first round. I don't care. Go ahead, have your videos drop right before the draft happens. I don't care.
It is weird that Kobe's 24 jersey is retired in Dallas. Like, if you're going to retire, shouldn't you retire both of them, especially since he didn't play for you?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know, and I appreciate the sentiment. I know. I was on the air when that happened and, and everything, but come on, for the Dallas Mavericks to do that. Do you know that if I'm not mistaken, the Heat retired Dan Marino's number?
What? No, that's not true. 13? Because I think Bam's 13.
They retired his jersey then, or they retired something in his honor. There's a banner up there, Dan Marino.
That's ridiculous.
But I guess they didn't retire his number.
Make sense. Yes, yeah, because Bam Adebayo is 13.
Yeah.
That's like,
why would you do something like that?
Why?
Even the MJ thing to me, and MJ was unbelievable, but the Heat
he's
so great, we're going to retire his number.
Aren't they division rivals as well? Aren't the Heat and the Heat and the Bulls division? Aren't they in the same division? If I'm not mistaken,
they're in the same conference. They're not the same.
Okay,
division.
They aren't. Okay. Who even knows what NBA divisions are these days?
Okay, so they retired Dan Marino's jersey.
Yeah.
But not his number.
Yeah. So
no Miami Heat can wear a Miami Dolphins jersey.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
When I read up on the Mavericks retiring Kobe's number, and it was literally the day he died. Mark Cuban put out a tweet that said, "No Dallas Maverick will ever wear number 24."
I mean,
so it might have
that's
just been like one of those unofficial,
and-
like official, unofficial kind of things.
Well, and I don't think you can draft him.
That's fair.
I don't think he can.
But
be
he
on
had
your
two.
team.
What about having two numbers retired for one team? Isn't that kind of having your number retired twice?
No, I think numbers retired by more than
Multiple
one
teams.
team.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Yeah.
Well,
Look, I already said you won.
redacted.
Yeah.
Redacted. Mr. Kobe Bryant.
Sean Bellin wants to know, will the Kings retire Looney's number?
That's
kind of too soon, huh?
Yeah, definitely, little too soon. Yeah, he's got to make the Hall of Fame first. Once Kevon Looney makes the Hall of Fame, the Kings will retire.
It is weird seeing the pictures of the Heat because there's Dan Marino's jersey, and then right next to it is a Michael Jordan,
I know,
Chicago Bulls jersey. It's like
it's
like someone's man cave.
Exactly.
That's right. It's Pat Riley's man cave.
Yeah, he's just like,
It
I
never
really like these
serves
guys.
The Heat, they've been great for a long time, but I think they did both those in a time when they weren't playing well and weren't drawing well, and they're trying to
get him
sell
in the
tickets or
building,
something. I here's the guys that we did not.
That is
select.
that does look really weird.
Guys who had their numbers retired by more than one team that we did not select. Clyde Drexler,
Yeah.
still in the green room. Bob Lanier. Moses Malone,
Okay.
Earl Monroe. I came close to taking him. Dikembe Mutombo, and the truly great and wonderful gentleman Nate Thurmond.
Ooh.
Those were guys who did not get selected.
Still on the board.
Yeah.
What about if we were to do other sports? Like if it would have been baseball, who would have been your number one pick?
Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan. Okay, let's see who else is. Oh, Jackie Robinson. That would have fit into the Bill Russell category. Probably wouldn't work. Hank Aaron.
Yes.
Aaron? Reggie Jackson.
Which of these?
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
NBA stories are you more tired of? The whole thing with the punch, Draymond and Jordan Poole, or all the talk about Dame Lillard and is he going to be traded and how much the Blazers owe him and blah, blah, blah. Which of those are you more weary of?
I think I'm more tired of the Dame conversation. I'm getting a lot of. I still want to talk about the punch. Like I think the punch still has a lot of juice behind it, and it's still. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's a lot left unanswered, but I still think that there's a lot of residual beef that's still there. You know, from I just saw Jordan Poole erased all Warriors mentioning from his Instagram, so that's how you know he's officially severed ties. You know, these days that's almost like now the trade is official.
Yeah, I
because
see.
It's not no traces on Instagram. It's like it never happened. So yeah, that's what I'm more tired. I'm more tired of.
Why
hearing
would you
about
do
that.
that after the fact?
I
I mean,
don't
I know
know.
you do that like when you're trying to telegraph that something could happen or you're upset with
like
somebody, or
when you break up with
I guess that's why he's upset
somebody,
with
you
him
know,
still.
like if you're in a relationship with anybody, guy or girl, you know, like that's the official sign of like that's telling everybody that you guys are done. Like it's, you know, if you're really friends with someone, you hear it through the grapevine. It's like, oh, did you hear?
So he's going Taylor Swift on them.
He's like, we will never, ever, ever, ever
You
get
didn't
back
go down
together.
and see her at Levi's this weekend.
I did not. No,
Did you see any video? I didn't either.
I saw
Did you
tons
see-
of videos
Yes.
of people who I won't want to say wasted their money, but my girlfriend was trying to go. She said the cheapest ticket, she was dying to go, $800 just to step in.
And she just had a birthday, and instead of sending her to Taylor Swift,
yes,
you printed
her
a book for her that was the wrong book.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I don't see what's wrong with that. I feel like you're trying to make a point there, and I feel like
I'm just
did the right thing.
clarifying. I thought that's the way it went. Like this is the way it happened,
Yes,
right?
yes, no, in that order. Yeah, she
Yeah.
wanted to go to Taylor Swift. I was like, "That's cute. Here's a book."
Well,
and
I mean,
she was like, "That's the wrong book," and I was like, "You didn't say thank you."
I had no desire to go, but I will say, just
Come on,
a little
no
bit of
desire.
grainy video that I saw from the concerts. That
Yeah.
place was hopping.
Yes, from head to toe, like all the
Yeah.
way up in the
Oh, yeah.
400s to
Yeah.
I mean, there was everyone was there except for you and me, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it looked like it was crazy. I think she was there for 2 nights as well.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
I'm sure there's some crazy people out there that went both nights and truly wasted their money. I mean, I hear it's a great show. Everyone
Travis
is saying-
Travis
Kelce?
Kelce punched a teammate.
I did see it.
You know why?
Yeah, he's hurting, man.
Yes.
As they say,
because he couldn't meet her.
Hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to give that friendship bracelet away. Why do you still have it?
Yeah.
No, I do not. No, there's I forgot about that friendship bracelet thing. We never got an answer on if he made it or not. But yeah, that's I did see that too. Actually, I did, to wrap up the Taylor show. I saw tons of people had. I guess it is a thing. They have like tons of friendship bracelets on, and I guess it's like a rave thing.
It feels like a practical joke being played on all of us because I don't get it at all. And I've talked to people like, oh man, I spent this much money going to the concert. I was like, oh, why is she so big? And it's just like, oh, she's really good. I'm like, well, yeah, but there's no one else that's like getting this type of like
Beyonce.
Insanity. Yeah, Beyonce.
That's it.
But I understand
Beyonce. Exactly. It's just, I don't know. It feels like Taylor Swift is just, she's always been this though. Like even like from the day she came in, she was this mega superstar. And I don't know. I mean, just everything she touched turns to gold. I mean, it's also not made for us. Like, I don't think we are Taylor Swift's target demographic. So maybe we just aren't
She's
made
a
to get
really good singer, really good songwriter, and she does it on her own.
I think it's her
she's
songwriting
carved
too.
her. It's
very catchy.
You know what?
Stuff,
I'm also
really
thinking
simple.
she's had a lot of famous boyfriends.
That's also
and
part
she's
of
had
it.
a lot of famous songs about those boyfriends.
It's definitely a part of it.
It's almost like a reality show.
Yes, very much
and
so.
pop star coming together.
Yeah. There's a Taylor Swift, metaverse kind of thing. Or
a lot has a hard time acknowledging that Taylor Swift has talent. You notice that?
No, she does, but like
you can't acknowledge that she's really good.
She's very talented, but there are
Kanye West
lot
stuff right
of
now.
talented people out there.
Okay,
I'm gonna let you finish.
But okay. No, I hear you, Chris. I
just wish someone said like, "Oh, everyone loves her because A, B, and C." I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, yeah."
You know what you sound like? You sound like me with Michael B. Jordan. Where I'm like, I get it.
But no, I don't get it.
Great, but where's the talent? Where's the talent? That's my question. Yeah, no, I mean, it's I think it's just
it's the timing and the talent.
It's the music.
That's how it is with these things.
I think it is just the songwriting is very relatable. It's very not to me,
the right
but like
talent and the right combination of things at the right time.
Yeah.
In our culture.
Also, from what I understand, her family gets it. Like her dad is like always had this plan of like
Steve Swift.
Sure. Yeah. I think.
That's the thing.
DeAndre Swift. Actually.
She's the one that broke Ticketmaster. That's why.
Yes. That's
why it's
true.
just like you're the one. It's like why did
her?
she break Ticketmaster?
Yeah. I don't know,
She's
man.
very relatable.
Yeah.
And if you get every girl, high school or middle school girl in America to be obsessed with you,
I think
there's
that's
a lot of
it.
There's
I think
a lot
of
them.
those young ladies that you're describing. They see her and they don't feel like, oh, she's not. She's like, you feel more like it's the Steph Curry thing. Well, she's like me, kind of.
Yeah,
very much. That's why I don't like Taylor Swift.
No,
Yes,
she's
very
really not. But
actually,
it seems that way.
It's actually kind of crazy how correct that is. Like, she is truly the Steph Curry of music.
Yeah.
Just like hyper relatable.
Where there's nothing you could be mad at her about, and that makes you even more angry.
I think we figured it out. I think we figured it out.
Okay, we figured it out.
Got to the bottom of it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
so
we figured out
anyway,
Taylor Swift.
Jordan Poole says to the world, "We will never, ever, ever, ever be back together." But you're more tired, as I think a lot of us are, of the Dame situation. Well, the NBA has taken notice of the fact that Dame and his agent Aaron Goodwin have been telling teams, don't bother trading for him because he don't want to go there.
Right.
Implication being he won't play for you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't do that. And I'm sure some of the smaller market owners especially said, hey, Adam Silver, aren't you the commissioner of the league? Can you tell them they can't do that? So what we have here is a memo from the NBA to all 30 teams stating that any player or his agent who makes public or private comments indicating he won't fully perform the services called for under his player contract in the event of a trade will be subject to discipline.
You can't keep getting away with it.
What would said discipline be? Like, it would have to be financial, right? It's like, oh, you say you won't play for your new team? We're going to suspend you, so you definitely can't play. But it's just
I want to see if it spells any of that out. It's a great question.
It's got to be a fine, I would assume. But.
Yeah, the memo was obtained by ESPN. The league had interviewed Dame and his agent following Woj's report earlier this month that Goodwin was calling teams and warning them, don't trade for my guy.
It's crazy.
He only wants to go to Miami. So, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. The NBA said in the memo that Goodwin, the agent, denied stating or indicating to any team that Lillard would refuse to play for them. went on to say that relevant teams provided descriptions of their communication with Goodwin that were mostly, though not entirely, consistent with Goodwin's statements to us. Let's see here. League already has rules about publicly issuing trade requests. They are allowed to be done privately. Yeah, I think all I got for you here is subject to discipline.
I mean, rightfully so. I mean, something had to be done about it because
no one wants to jump to what that discipline would be because that would only ratchet things up.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
if it's like $20,000, but he's going to make $60 million in one season.
Exactly. He's like, I'll still make those statements. I don't care. Like, I feel like something had to be done about this, but I don't know if this is going to change everyone's mindset.
Has anything been done really?
Yeah. No, nothing has been done except for a warning. And even then, I don't think this is really going to change the reality of the situation. That I just don't think that there's a trade out there that makes sense for the why I keep wanting to call them Clippers, the Blazers.
It feels like in court when they say like, "Hey, jury, that's stricken from the record. You cannot take that into deliberation."
Yeah, but it's like you already heard it, and it's like I'm definitely going to take that into consideration.
Yeah, there's just too much gray area here where that Goodwin never went to a team and said, if you trade for him, he will not play.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
And the league is just saying, you can't do that. And he's smart enough to not have said that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So at the same time, though, he made it clear to teams that if I were you, I wouldn't trade for my guy. I didn't say he wouldn't play, but they know what I was saying.
Right. I mean, and like Chris said, I mean, it's not like people are going to forget this. I don't think this really changes the situation at all. It's, if anything, something should have been done about this right away. But now I think the damage has been done. I don't think that this is going to make anybody go back to the negotiation table and say, okay, you heard what he said, so you have to play for. I just think that nothing has really changed. And this is, this is done because Adam Silver had to say something. But, at the end of the day, what is really being done to make this not happen? I mean, the statements have been said already.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows that Dame wants to go to Miami, and that's kind of it.
Descriptions of their communication with Goodwin that were, quote, mostly, though not entirely, consistent with Goodwin's statements to us. How toothless is this piece of garbage, right?
It's very toothless.
It was kind of consistent with it, but yeah. So you better watch out or we may discipline you.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
Like, why don't you discipline him now? Why don't you give him a fine for what you've already heard about it and already tainting the market for him? Again, like if I don't know. I don't understand what this memo is about. And
this is like ineffective parenting when kids are doing something and the parents say, you do that one more time. And then they do it. Oh, okay. I mean it this time, right?
Exactly.
One more time. Yeah, you better watch it. You better watch it.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you the look. Yeah.
They got to do something about it, though. Even like, I just think in general with these guys,
right?
These guys under contracts as well.
Yeah.
Like,
if it's going to be Miami, fine. Trade him to Miami. Just get it over with.
Get it done. Yeah. Get it done. And
if he's not, fine. Then stay.
I don't think we're any closer to finding out, though. I think that this is just going to be something that's going to be looming in the air because, I mean, everyone knows it's the two sides are looking at each other, and everyone knows that the Blazers don't want to go into the season with Dame on their roster, and they know that the place he wants to go is Miami, and Miami is willing to make it happen. It's just the two sides can't come to the agreement. I don't know where this stalemate ends. It's this much to do about nothing. I think like this memo is just complete trash.
It ends when the Heat at some point say, you know what, we're out. And then he stays.
But would they truly be out? I mean, even if they say they're out, I wouldn't believe it. Like I think that
that might not be until who knows the deadline, but I would hope I would hope that they would make a decision before that, just for our sakes.
Right.
But you could see them continuing this thing in this dialogue on. Joe Cronin, the GM of Portland, has said this could take months. And why? They're in no hurry. Why would they be in a hurry?
Sure.
Yeah.
And then the interesting thing is going to happen is if he is still on the roster come September, come October, like is Dame going to play for the Blazers, or are they going to have some agreement kind of like Ben Simmons where we'll sit you out until we find a deal for you? Because I mean, the worst thing that can happen then is we see maybe Damian Lillard I don't want to say fake an injury, but what if he actually does sustain an injury? Then his value is completely tanked. I can't imagine. I think one thing is clear. He will not play for the Blazers, I think, ever again. Like, unless this thing is completely resolved and they come back to the, if the Blazers and Dame have a meeting and they have a mutual understanding of what the situation is going to be, maybe he'll help usher in this new Blazers era. But unless that happens, I just can't see him ever playing for the Blazers again. And I don't think this memo really helps them get any closer to him not being.
No, this is just a league trying to cover their behinds to show everyone, look, this is all above board, and we don't allow players to pick and choose where they go, despite what you've seen in the past, despite what we all know has happened and is in the process of happening on several fronts here. It's not allowed, okay? Don't worry, we got a handle on it.
Right, yeah. No,
yeah, there's also, I think we talked about the suggestions, don't even know if it's a report, that the Blazers are hoping Dame will decide, yeah, I guess I'm good here. I'm fine if I stay.
I think that's what the Blazers are still holding out for. It's definitely the cleanest thing. I mean, I'm sure they would love to have him, and if they have any intentions of winning basketball games, they need Damian Lillard. But I've said it before. I think that the best thing for the Blazers to do is to take. It's not good GM advice, but I would take a lesser offer just to get the situation over with. And it's not like you're getting nothing from Miami. It's just it seems like apart on a draft pick or two. And, I don't know if that's really enough for me. I would probably just, accept it and wash my hands of the situation.
Yeah. The proof of this pudding would be if other teams then say, oh, we're going to now trade.
Now hop in.
Nobody is going to hop in.
No.
Because no matter what this memo says, it's the Blazers and the Heat.
And it's also, it's he's got 3 or 4 years left on his contract. It's not like, oh yeah, but he's in a contract year. It's only 1 more year. We'll play it out. And even if he's not happy, he can go or whatever. Like, if you're trading for this guy, you've got him under team control for a while. You better make sure he wants to play there if you're moving for him.
Coming up next, where do you want to go, Chris? We could talk again about the Bleacher Report story that says Sabonis is the most overrated player in the league, or we can look at how Josh Allen is actually the source of all this 49er quarterback confusion. Which would you like to do next?
Let's go Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, it's his fault. That's why the 49er quarterback situation is so muddled. That's next year. Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. The Kings are running it back.
Hammers it off the dribble against Gobert, and he was fouled. Oh my, what a take that time by Domantas Sabonis. It leads Gobert. That's strong. 2-hand flush off the dribble, thrown down by Trey Lance.
And welcoming some new faces.
Yes, Toby Jones for 2 more.
Now they go to Duarte in the corner for 3, and he rains it down.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Hey, it's Carmichael Day for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
I'm James, senior apparel designer, and this is Behind the Design with Brothers and Sons. Brothers and Sons is a brand that is just a guy who loves the outdoors, really playing up the comfort in the touch of fabrics and then just making sure it has that durability. We are creating uniqueness and opportunities with design and fabrics and function. Brothers and Sons, only at Boot Barn.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins
on Sactown Sports.
It's kind of like the calm before the storm here. Now we got the baseball trade deadline coming up here, but we also have football camps just underway. Pretty soon we'll have preseason games. Pretty soon we'll have actual NFL football. Then we'll have NBA basketball as the summer approaches its conclusion. Still plenty of summer left, but we've got that fall sports convergence coming up.
Yes, can't wait.
World Series, football,
best time.
Basketball.
Best time.
We're getting there.
Immediately following the worst time of sports fandom is probably around right now. Maybe like 2 weeks ago. We're kind of on the back end of it right now. But yeah, I mean, you could feel it. I mean, pads are getting put on. And basketball starting to turn
put on, baby.
Those leather helmets getting strapped in. It's it's starting to heat up. That sports calendar starting to get real hot recently.
Yeah,
can't wait.
And we'll have the FIBA World Cup coming up next month.
Yes, yeah,
almost
I
this
forgot
month.
about that actually. Yeah, so that should be exciting as well. I know I've seen Luka putting in a lot of work for Slovenia. I think you said earlier Chris Duarte is supposed to play for Dominican Republic this year, so or this summer. So we'll be able to see some of him.
You see who's on the team with him?
I did not know. For DR,
There's
no.
2 NBA players in addition to him on the DR team.
From
one you would say, oh yeah, one is Al Horford, but the other is
I don't think I knew Al Horford.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I think it's one of those, things like Kyle Anderson being on
the
okay, Chinese team.
Yeah, maybe like his grandfather,
something like that,
was
which
Dominican.
Is,
for sure. I mean, that's cool for Cat. I mean, I don't think. For Team USA, he absolutely would have been on, especially on this Team USA team, would have been one of the bigger stars. But I'm never going to knock anybody for going to, especially one of those smaller countries and really trying to establish basketball there. It's also a big brand play as well. You can get more fans over there where they might have not really cared about you in the past. But that's cool. I like that, Cat.
I think there's only one other former King who's even playing. Because Sabonis isn't playing, or I'd say
Sabonis
current or former,
right? I'm trying to
other
think.
than Duarte.
Oh, Buddy Hield, Bahamas.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that was just announced today.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good.
Shout out, Buddy.
Well done, well played. But Bogey's playing.
Oh, okay, right.
That's at least the last roster I saw.
Yes. Serbia, I think he's is his national team, if I'm not mistaken, because I think, I want to say it's Serbia. That's cool. That's awesome. I really like international basketball. We've talked about how we don't like our team's players playing for their national country, but I think that the concept of like them trying to build out these FIBA World Cups and there's another tournament that they've been trying to make, obviously the Olympics as well. But I think all of these national or international competitions are really good for basketball. It shows like, the NBA's had this big worldly push of trying to get, basketball bigger in China and in India and in Africa. And I think
Canada's got a
great
pretty
job.
good team.
Canada's got a great team. They're probably our number 1 or number 2 rivals at the moment, I would guess.
Okay, so the Bahamas aren't in FIBA. What they were announced today is DeAndre Ayton, Eric Gordon, Buddy Hield, and Kai Jones are on the roster for the Olympic qualifier for the Bahamas.
Okay.
They didn't make the FIBA. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, the Bahamas, I think Buddy was actually the first player from the Bahamas to be in the NBA. So, I mean, they're still a developing country in terms of their basketball. And so, it would have been cool. But, I mean, I think it's awesome to have all of those guys, especially, these mid-tier, not star level guys entering, because it's a good opportunity to shine and to show even guys like Chris Duarte. I'm sure Chris Duarte is going to average somewhere near 17 to 18 points per game. And that'll be really cool to see.
Speaking of the Kings, we have bottom of the hour, our bold Kings prediction of the day, which has been already, we just started it. It's been controversial.
Very controversial.
Yeah. Are you ready for today?
I am. Yes, I am. I think today is probably my least bold, but still one that I think needs to be said.
I mean, fans all over the region are still talking about the way Kyle Draper came after you.
That was light.
For your
man, I thought I was gonna have to go in there.
That was light. Just I mean, he was really mad at was it the Sasha one or was it
when you said Malik Monk will be starting.
Yeah, it was Malik Monk full-time starter.
Anytime he says, Chris, you're my guy, but it's like,
I can
look
feel
out!
I can run! Anytime the compliments come my way, I'm
what's funny is we were talking about that, and then later on the day I was listening to them and I hear, Jay, you're my guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Oh, God. Here comes the flame.
Warning.
I actually heard that, too. Yeah.
You're an incredible person and amazing father. Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Well, even a rattlesnake warns before it strikes.
Exactly.
I learned that in a comic book once. Yeah.
Which one?
It was Captain Action
Oh,
comic book. Yeah. So I remember, I was like, ooh, that's
Oh,
really
that's
cool.
good.
I'm going to remember that from when I was 8 or
That's a
whatever.
good saying. I like it.
Even a rattlesnake warns before
Yeah.
it strikes. Speaking of still developing, do you know that the reason the 49ers have this quarterback conundrum, well, you can blame a lot of it on Josh Allen.
What?
Yeah. Do you remember this game at 2020, the 49ers, I believe it was a Monday night game. And I think we went to Papa Murphy's that night, if I'm not mistaken, for pizza. Anyway, it was late in that season. The 49ers were 6-10 that year. The 49ers were playing the Buffalo Bills, and it was Kyle Shanahan's first close-up look at Josh Allen. And he had struggled through his first couple seasons. But on that Monday Night Football game, he torched the Niners. He threw 4 touchdown passes and threw for 375 yards.
That seems pretty
Josh
good.
Allen was just like, oh, my goodness. What is he, like a senior in high school playing against 6th graders?
Yeah.
What is this? Yeah. And a few months later, the Niners, they'd gotten tired of investing and counting on Jimmy because he was always hurt. So that was when they traded 3 first-round picks and a third-round selection to the Dolphins to move up 12 spots to get the number 3 pick in the 2021 NFL draft. Kyle Shanahan had seen what a modern, if you will, NFL quarterback can do. And Jimmy was like, yeah, he's Jimmy, but even when he's Jimmy and we can win with him, but he's always hurt. So we need that guy. We need one of those guys.
Yeah.
So that's why they made the move they did to trade up and draft on Trey Lance.
So it's all Josh Allen's fault is what I'm hearing.
A lot of it. Kyle Shanahan said, I don't look at it as trends of the league. That's what he said at the time. I look at it as there's some special players or special people. And there, it depends who you talk to. Some people will tell you that Kyle wanted Mac Jones and had to be talked out of it, but clearly had a lot to do. The fact that they traded up to get Trey Lance is because they were looking at things that guys like Josh Allen were doing. Not that there are a lot of guys like Josh Allen, and Kyle Shanahan thought, if I could have somebody who could do all that in this offense, we'll be unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean,
just hasn't worked out the way they planned.
I think that's the thing that everybody in the modern NFL is looking for, somebody who's got that dual threat action and somebody who preferably, passes is a passer first, but just has the ability to run the ball and extend plays. I mean, those are the things that you can't account for. Like any genius head coach like Kyle Shanahan can drop the most beautiful play, but if the line breaks down and everything goes to crap, somebody who can improvise and still make a play, that's something that he's looking for. That's something Josh Allen excels at, and it makes sense. You can draw a direct line to that thought process and them taking Trey Lance. It makes a lot of sense when you connect the dots like that. But, obviously the results are a whole lot harder to come by than just, the idea of, oh yeah, we'll just go get somebody who does both and it'll work for us. It's like, no, it's really hard to do it both at an elite level.
Nick Wagner and Jeremy Fowler put together this piece at ESPN.com, and it's really interesting because they talk about how one source said Kyle is always looking for ways to expand the offense and come up with all these great schemes that he does. Trey was more mobile than Jimmy allowed. That opened up possibilities,
right?
Because Kyle Shanahan is looking at guys who can beat a defense in multiple ways, like Debo. He can catch a pass and slant. He can run the ball. McCaffrey, catch a pass, run the ball. And he saw that potentially in Trey Lance. It just hasn't come to fruition yet for a lot of reasons, a lot of which have to do with Trey Lance and how it's kind of ironic because they didn't want Jimmy because he was always hurt. Trey Lance has always been hurt.
Yeah. Well, and you can see that's what Kyle was looking for by the way that he was calling plays for Trey last year. I mean, like a lot of designed runs, and he felt like if you can get that run game established, I mean, the run sets up the pass. It's a cliche, but it's very true. And if you can have your quarterback, if you can drop back your quarterback every single play and no one knows if it's going to be a design run or if they have to, defend people downfield or if they have to keep a spy on the quarterback, it's adding so many levels of things that you need to think about that it makes sense why those are the guys that you would feel could unlock offenses unlike any other. But again, they're a lot tougher to come by than just going out and looking for guys who can run fast.
That's why I still think we're going to see Trey packages this year. I think it's going to be part of Shanahan's offense. A lot of people are going to complain. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. Right. But I think clearly he's going to have it set up where Brock is our guy, but we have to see what Trey can do. We're going to give him chances. We'll see.
It makes a lot of sense on paper. It's just the human element of it. I mean, both of those guys would have to be very okay with it. And, I think Trey has already been in that kind of situation before. He's obviously going to be okay with any playing time that he's going to get. But it's going to be on Brock to have to accept that as well, because that's not necessarily what's best for Brock either. I mean, taking him out of the game, taking him out of rhythm just so Kyle can flex and say, look how creative I am. I have 2 quarterbacks and I have one do this and one do that. Like, yeah, I mean, sure, it makes sense, but it doesn't make it any easier to as a quarterback when you're used to being in every single play.
Coming up next, as promised, one of the new Kings looms large in the Bold Kings predictions of the day. Next with Watkins, Whitey, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
One the only, the great leader of this great city, Mayor Darrell Steinberg.
It was just time to tell the public that we have actually been working very hard on this. Kevin Nagel, Todd Donovan, my office. But when we got a good and great connection to the Stronach group, we decided, let's go and let's see if we can make this happen. We have a chance. And in part, it's because we've all stuck together.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Get ready for a night with Cole Swing Down. 2023 ACM Song of the Year winner hits Heart Health Park at Cal Expo in Sacramento, Saturday, September 9th for the CITP2 Fest. And Cole's bringing some friends like Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, Matt Stell, and more. Tickets start at $40 at CITPFest.com.
Everyone loves to be outside, and so do mosquitoes. Protect yourself against mosquitoes and West Nile virus by following these simple tips. At least once a week, look around your yard and drain stagnant water from any containers where mosquitoes can breed. Remember to use an effective mosquito repellent, especially at dawn and dusk when mosquitoes are most active. Close all doors and be sure screens are in good working condition. At the Mosquito and Vector Control District, we're here to help. Visit us at fightthebite.net.
Are you ready for the deal of a lifetime? This week only, get ready to rev up your savings at elkgrovekia.com. It's the biggest sale event of the year, and you won't want to miss it. The doors swing wide open every day at 9 a.m., and we're unleashing the biggest selection of pre-owned and brand new vehicles you've ever seen. With so many options to choose from, you are sure to find the car of your dreams. But hold on to your seatbelts, because here's the best part. Our prices are so low, we can't even air them. Yes, you heard that right. Our prices are slashed to the bone, and they're so incredible that we can't even broadcast them. You have to come down and see for yourself. Don't wait. This is a 1 week only event. And to make it even better, you can drive away with your dream car right on the spot. No waiting, no hassle, just instant delivery right on site. Remember, the sale of the year happens this week only at elkgrovekia.com. Doors open at 9 a.m. sharp. Don't miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Elk Grove Kia, where the biggest savings and the hottest wheels await.
Elk Grove Kia.
Where are you on your financial journey? Wherever it is, Safe Credit Union has a checking account made just for you. Jason Ross here, and I can tell you with 4 different safe checking account options, one is sure to fit your needs. And with easy, secure, and personalized service to early paydays, overdraft protection, and exclusive members-only perks, safe checking accounts truly put you and your financial future first. Find a safe checking account you will love at safecu.org/checking. Safe Credit Union is insured by NCUA.
Marvel and Rivercats baseball unite. Marvel Defenders of the Diamond Night returns to Sutter Health Park on Saturday, August 5th when the Rivercats host the Reno Aces. Purchase the Defenders of the Diamond ticket pack and get exclusive access to a pregame meet and greet with superheroes Captain America and Black Panther. You'll also receive a limited release New Era hat featuring a Marvelized Rivercats logo. The fun continues postgame with a fireworks show presented by Sutter Health. Join the fun and purchase your tickets at rivercats.com.
Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers. Imagine if every time you bought something, you could get a second one for 30% off. Buy one car, get the second one for 30% off.
Buy one TV, get the second one at 30% off. Buy a new house and get the second one at 30% off.
At Bell Brothers, that's exactly what we're offering this spring on windows and doors. When you buy one brand new energy-efficient window for your home, you'll get the second one at 30% off.
A minimum purchase is required, but the discount applies to every second window you buy. For example, if you buy 5 windows, you'll get 5 windows at 30% off.
The same is true for doors. Buy one, get one for 30% off. And for doors, the minimum is just 2.
So call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers, spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Colts running back Jonathan Taylor has requested a trade, but the team has named him to the non-football injury list. ESPN says sources said he reported back pain during a pre-training camp physical that was not sustained while playing for the team. Taylor responded on X, formerly Twitter, 1, never had back pain. 2, never reported back pain. Not sure who sources are, but find new ones. The U.S. women's team faced Portugal for a chance to advance to the round of 16 tonight. The U.S. will advance with either a win or a draw. If the U.S. does lose to Portugal, they can still advance with the Netherlands' loss to Vietnam. Kickoff is at midnight tonight. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Come on, Steph Curry. I know Steph Curry gets under your skin more than he does mine. But he just said something that just really irritates me. Steph apparently is promoting the doc, so he's
pushing it.
He's on everything. Yeah. He'd probably come on our show.
He was on Hot Ones the other day.
That's how willing he is to promote it. Oh, okay.
I hate how well he did at Hot Ones.
He did so well. It really upset me. But we could probably have him on our show.
Oh, he would probably come in when you need me in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know that I don't know if he still does. He used to get his hair cut by somebody in Vallejo.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, he was making the rounds, and I think he was on the Today Show, and he said something involving a former king that we will get to at some point here. But I just saw this. He was asked about, the GOAT, who's the greatest of all time. And he's like, well, there's different time periods. It's great barbershop debate. But his answer was, I think there's more than one GOAT. And that's just wrong.
That's
not
so
right.
wrong. I hate it when people say that. It's not just because it's Steph Curry. It is quite literally the greatest of all time.
Yes.
By nature,
yeah.
That's one singular person.
Right.
There can't be like a tie?
No. Because it's the greatest.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not.
And if you don't want to answer, fine. But, there's more than one. Well, there can't be that.
And you can't say multiple eras because it's of all time. Of all of the times.
If you want to say, I'll give you the greatest by era, that's something.
Fine.
Okay.
That's a different thing.
Yeah,
it's not
but there's
GOAT.
more than one. No, there's just not.
Yeah. No, you gotta put your stamp on it. And you gotta have somebody. It's okay to say, like, I know this is unpopular, or I know this is gonna cause a big rise, but it's this guy for this reason. I'm not saying anybody else is wrong, but this is just my opinion. If you don't have that hard of a stance on it, it's
and
not
I'm sorry,
hard.
but Stephen
Wardell,
I'm not watching your doc until you answer that question.
You know what? Me too. I was gonna watch it, and now after seeing how soft he was, I'm like, why should very corny, very cringe, incredibly? I'm like, why should you? You're not my GOAT, so what do I need to watch this documentary for? Huh? So please give me.
I want to watch it. My wife really wants to watch it. So help me help you.
Yeah, exactly, Steph. We're just trying to get our Apple TV viewers up here, and you're not helping the cause, man. Just go out and say something. Say it with your chest, bro. Come on.
You could go the way Dr. J went. I heard that on Carmichael Dave's show today, where he just went people that are done. Someone said Steph Curry. He said no, he's still playing. All the people I name are people that are
because if he keeps playing, we might say like, oh, we thought he was that good.
Well, I mean, at least that's an 8. He gave his starting 5, didn't give the greatest.
Yeah.
And he went back away. It was kind of weird. Like, Will Chamberlain, Kareem, Bill Russell, Karl Malone.
And I understand that he's trying to not cause headlines, because if he says Michael Jordan, then people are going to say, oh, he's a LeBron hater. And if he says LeBron, then it's going to be, whatever. I don't know. Maybe he's a Jordan hater.
He did leave. But did he leave MJ off and he had Karl Malone on?
Oh, you're talking about for Dr. J?
Yeah.
He left LeBron off as well.
Yeah. He had Jordan
still
on.
playing.
Ridiculous.
Oh, he had Jordan on. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he said, all my guys are guys that aren't playing anymore.
That's just a terrible cop out.
Something.
I think he threw Tiny Archibald in the list.
He did.
No disrespect, Tiny Archibald, but I have never in my life heard Tiny Archibald referred to as one of the 10 best of all time.
He's phenomenal, and his jersey number hangs from the
does.
rafters.
It does, yeah. But
he was unbelievable. He led the league in scoring and assists in 1 year.
He did, yeah. I think it was like 30 and 12 too, like something like incredibly high numbers for sure. But was he playing against milkmen? Is the question.
No, he wasn't, because this was like 1972.
Okay,
so
well, there you go.
Yeah, not even plumbers.
Not even.
No,
I mean, yeah, an upgrade.
Mailman, nope,
none of them. Some real
not
NBA
the
guys.
mailman, but yeah. By the way, we want to send you to see Smashing Pumpkins at Toyota Amphitheater. Let's go caller 7.
Sure.
We do that. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see Smashing Pumpkins live in concert at Toyota Amphitheater August 7th. The world is a vampire. Hit the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now for your chance to win. Again, looking for lucky caller number 7. More information, visit SactownSports.com. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. That brings us to our bold Kings prediction of the day. I'm ready to go. You can go first if you like, Chris.
Sure, I'll go first. I'll go first.
Here's Christopher Watkins.
My bold Kings prediction
should we text
today.
Drapes and make sure he's listening?
No, absolutely not. We'll surprise him when he comes in. Mine is, and like I said, I think this is the least bold statement that I have made, but I just think it needs to be said. Trey Lyles will be a sufficient enough backup center this season for the Kings. I don't think we're going to necessarily worry about those backup center minutes as much as what I think we've been talking about this offseason with, the Kings bringing back Alex Len and signing Nerlens Noel to a non-guaranteed deal. I think the plan seems to be Trey Lyles will get a majority of those backup 5 minutes, with Sasha Vezenkov presumably getting a lot of those backup 4 minutes. And I think from what I saw last year, I feel good. I feel good about Trey's potential to step up, be a bigger rebounding presence, and really play more of that backup center. We saw it initially in a game against Minnesota where they obviously have Rudy Gobert. Sabonis got into foul trouble that game. They put in Trey Lyles at the 5, and it really did a great job of spacing out that floor, pulling Gobert out to the perimeter and allowing De'Aaron Fox to cut to the lane. And all it takes is Trey Lyles hitting 1 or 2 threes for him to space the floor. I just really think it's going to be a good fit. And I think for the most part, I think there's going to be certain matchups where we'll want a bigger presence down there. But I think for the most part, Trey Lyles will be a serviceable backup 5.
Okay. That's not, you're my guy. It's not especially, bold.
Like I said,
it's a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But are you saying that, I don't want to put words in your mouth, that like Nerlens Noel will be a kind of a novelty piece, like he'll be used here or there, certain situations?
It's more of just a statement
piece,
of I don't think we'll need to look for that piece. I think a lot of people are like, they need to have a different answer there, like a long-term or a solidified, he's definitely coming in for Sabonis.
You have your backup center.
Yes, you have your backup center and you're fine. There's nothing else to worry about. Trey Lyles is that guy.
Okay.
Is that's my bold?
I got
maybe semi-bold. How about that? Semi-bold.
No, we'll go bold. I mean, it's bold. So
Thank you.
I mean, he probably should have played more in the.
I think so. I think he definitely should have played more in the Warrior series instead of Terrence Davis.
My BKPOTD is the following: Chris Duarte, as long as he can stay healthy, he's going to have a breakout season, his best season as a pro. I'm not going to put any numbers on it, but he's going to play so well that by February, a topic in Kingsland is going to be, why isn't he starting? Why isn't Duarte starting instead of Herder?
Wow.
Nothing against Herder, but that's my prediction, is that Chris Duarte is going to flourish. Had a really good rookie year, got hurt. Last year was kind of a lost year. His numbers were down. They were okay, but I think here in the system, playing again with Sabonis, assuming health, I think he's going to have a bust-out season.
I like it.
Year.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, don't put numbers on it because it might not be. I think he was like 12 or 13 points per game his rookie year.
Yeah,
might not touch that.
Yeah,
I mean, he might be 11 or maybe even 12, but I could see it. I mean, I think his connection with Sabonis is going to be really like a really real thing. Like, it's been talked about quite a bit, but I've also been noticing, for anybody who follows Domantas Sabonis on Instagram, him and Chris Duarte have been inseparable since since he's been traded. He's been every single day they're working out together. Doug Christie's down there, Leandro Barbosa's down there working them out. Seems like they've been hanging out with each other almost every day. I saw them go to the Real Madrid game at the Rose Bowl a couple weeks ago. Seemed to be it was not overstated how close those two were and how big of an impact Sabonis had on Duarte. So I could definitely see, like you're saying, that Duarte comes here to Sacramento, hits the ground running, and really picks up from that rookie season campaign.
I'll bet you this also went into that trade. Mike Brown, when he was with the Warriors during that draft, that was, the Davion Mitchell draft, Kuminga, Franz Wagner. Mike Brown was with the Warriors, and my understanding is they like Duarte a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, he would have fit really well in that Warrior team. Actually, he probably wouldn't have needed to bring in a guy like Dante DiVincenzo, because I think Duarte, in theory, does a lot of the things that Dante would do: hit threes and just be an energy guy and maybe provide some defense. That's the thing that's going to be key for Duarte. If he plays defense at a higher level than what his numbers, his defensive rating has suggested, you maybe could argue that he should get, like you're saying, like a big boost in a significant role with this team. I can see it.
Yeah, if he shoots the ball well, if he does have a bust out year, because make no mistake, Kevin Huerter had a fabulous season shooting the ball.
Yeah.
He had a great year shooting the ball.
40%.
But if Duarte has his best offensive year and he can defend well, it might become a thing. Not which one starts.
Right.
Maybe.
Absolutely.
But Duarte has a lot of ground to make up there. Because again, I don't mean to give short shrift to Kevin Huerter, because he had a great year and he won 2 Beamies.
He did win 2 Beamies. People forget about that.
But I think he might steal one of Huerter's Beamies next season with best nickname.
What is it?
Maple Fuerte.
Chris, this is you, isn't it? This is yours, isn't it?
Hey, I've heard some people talking about it. So,
but he's playing for DR. I mean, he is Canadian, but he's playing.
That's
right. That's where the Forte comes in.
But the Oh, I guess he's okay. We'll workshop it, Chris.
We're combining everything.
Yeah, we'll workshop it. We'll see.
And we move on. Try to get the show going again. Just get it. Everybody get out. Might have to push a little bit. Coming up, I shouldn't say that because he's the judge. Now I have no chance.
Yeah, this guy.
No chance.
Just give me that helmet right now.
49ers have the most talented QB room in the league. That's coming up in the Factor Fantasy Showdown. Next, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Jimmy G and the Raiders take on the 49ers Sunday, August 13th from Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. And Sactown Sports has all your coverage.
Kyle's offense versus Josh's offense, just different mindset behind it. So I think revamping the mind like that is the first step, and then just relearning the language. Basically like going Spanish to French, something like that.
The voice of the Niners, Greg Papa, has the kickoff at 1 p.m. on Sactown Sports.
Your home for the 49ers.
From local town councils to Capitol Hill, agents who are realtors are standing up for what's right. We're here protecting property rights. Here advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods. Here championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we are realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all. Here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Individual rates, coverage, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, listen up. Pi Insurance wants to give you one of those aha moments, the kind that could save you money. Workers' comp is probably one of the biggest costs you face. But did you know that insurance providers have flexibility in setting their prices? That's right. But many don't bother giving small businesses the savings you deserve. Instead, you can get lumped in with other businesses and overcharged. Pi Insurance was created to change that. With Pi, you get a quote tailored specifically to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. Take 3 minutes to see how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or go to trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Mosley Collins Injury Lawyers present the 6th Annual All-American Rib Cook-Off, Saturday, August 12th at Recreation Park in Auburn. Now a Kansas City Barbecue Society-sanctioned competition. Get your rib ticket at allamericanribcookoff.com and enjoy live music, the Kids Zone, and more. Thanks to Auburn Toyota, Sacramento County Sheriff's Department, and Foothill Paint and Drywall. Proceeds help Crime Victims United and other local charities. Tickets are limited, so get yours now at allamericanribcookoff.com.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street. Right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry. Categories are filling up.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
I don't want to brag, but something that I wrote made it onto the Sactown Sports website.
What?
Yeah.
You wrote it?
Uh-huh.
And it's on the SactownSports.com website?
Yep.
Really?
I probably don't need to tell people that because if you're a 49er fan, you're already on there all the time.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah.
Emil's
I mean, if
been
you're a
doing such
good
great
49er
job.
fan.
Yeah.
If you're an informed 49er fan, you're on Sactown Sports all the time.
But here it is. Hosts' thoughts. What non-QB story to pay attention to out of 49ers camp? You got me on there, Jason Ross,
Carmichael?
Yeah, Carmichael Dave.
Carmichael Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, yeah, read more about what'd you talk about?
Well, you gotta, I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
No,
It's a good
I just
question.
noticed that I wasn't on there either. It says hosts thoughts. It's actually because I didn't turn it in time, but let's not talk about that.
What you didn't,
I didn't. It's just I wasn't the best at school sometimes. And
Actually, I thought it was supposed to be in by the end of business today. So
numbers are hard. They're tough, dude. They're really, really
That's
tough.
nice. Yeah.
So are deadlines. Me and deadlines never really got along too well. But
story about Frank Gore and his new job with 49ers. Lots of great
saw
stuff
that
on there.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, 49ers training camp on Sactown Sports is brought to you by Power Business Technology. Power Business Technology. Call them for all your business copier needs at 1-844-POWER-BZ or go online to powercopiers.com. That brings us to the Fact or Fantasy Showdown for today. And here is your judge, the Honorable Christopher Laud.
Thank you very much. Thank you for standing. So let's start with, other than Brock Purdy's return, the biggest story out of Niner camp so far is that all the QBs have stunk. Fact or fiction?
Who starts and may I be
Fact
seated?
or fantasy?
May I be seated, Your Honor?
Yes, you may be seated.
Thank you. Okay.
And we'll start with you, sir.
Okay.
Distinguished gentleman.
Yeah, thank you. Other than Brock Purdy's return, biggest story out of Niner camp so far is that all the QBs have stunk. That is a fantasy. And I know they've been a little rusty here, a little inaccurate there. I understand the quarterbacks, or at least one of them, had a better day yesterday. But that's not the biggest story. The biggest story is this Nick Bosa. Call it what you will. They're not calling it a holdout. He's not reporting until he has his new deal reached. Read all about it, SactownSports.com. Great piece there. I think Emil wrote that. So that's the biggest story, because it's not unexpected, but we're getting here 6 days in where it's getting a little uncomfortable, and you'd like to see that resolved very quickly. It's on the border of becoming an issue. Right now, it's just a little bit of an uncomfortable thing, but for a team with Super Bowl aspirations, they need to get Nick Bosa's deal done and get him in camp.
Whitey, you're right, but you're also wrong. It is a fantasy. The biggest story coming out of Niners camp, while yes, a lot of people are talking about the quarterbacks, the biggest story has been Brandon Ayuk, who just continues to be absolutely dominant day after day after day. If you tune into any of the 49ers beat writers, if you look at a Mills page, if you look at Grant Cohn, Tim Kawakama, everybody is talking about how ridiculous Brandon Ayuk has been all camp long. It seems like he's taken another leap as a receiver. It feels like every single training camp it's talked about how Ayuk is shining, but everyone has said Brandon Ayuk has been the best player on the football field for the entirety of 49ers training camp. So again, you're right. It is a fantasy. It's not the quarterbacks, but you're wrong. The story has been Brandon Ayuk.
The story is Ayuk. It was also the story the year before. So can you really have the biggest story be the story from last season? I'm going to go with Whitey for the win.
It's a fair decision. It's a fair decision.
By the way, who's Tim Kawakama?
I said, I know. I was getting to like the next names in my head earlier, and I was like, let me just shut it down mid-sentence.
Great, Tim Kawakama.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yes. Thank you, Your Honor.
The most interesting king to do a Steph-style documentary would be De'Aaron Fox. Fact or fantasy? Chris.
Yeah, this is a fantasy. Well, yes, it would be very entertaining to watch De'Aaron Fox have his own documentary. I think that the most entertaining king would be Chris Webber. I think if we had a Chris Webber style documentary on Steph Curry, he's just got so much storylines to go over. You could start obviously with the Michigan career, the Fab Five, getting the Fab Five together, getting the timeout and all that. But also it's a story of how, sometimes you have a phenomenal career, you have a phenomenal, you're a great prospect leading into the NBA, and not everybody gets to win. And that's kind of the story of Chris Webber. Is he was an excellent talent when he played, was never really the best power forward, had to play in an era of Tim Duncan and Shaq and Kevin Garnett, and also never won the ring. It's a different story that hasn't really been told a lot. A lot of the time you hear about the winners, but you never really hear about those guys who never got it done, but still had a good career.
The most interesting king to do a Steph-style documentary on would be De'Aaron Fox. That is a fact, Your Honor.
That's the fact, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, let's remember that the Steph documentary is called Underrated. If anything, Chris Webber, you could argue, is overrated.
Sure.
What De'Aaron Fox has done coming out of Kentucky and being the foundational piece for the Kings through some tough years, lean years, made a lot of money, played piano, got married, had a baby, and now he's one of the foundational pieces as this team is just starting to take off. It would be a fascinating documentary. De'Aaron Fox is the guy.
Since we are running late, this is the final question, which is worth 2 points. And the winner is Whitey Gleason.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Clean sweep. I think, Chris, you were talking about not winning on purpose so you wouldn't have to wear the hat.
Yeah.
But Chris Webber, it would be a great documentary. Unfortunately, Chris Webber doesn't like to talk about his career.
It's a good point.
Chris Webber does keep a lot of things close to the vest. So I don't know how much we would get out of a Chris Webber documentary.
That's a great
We
point.
wouldn't get a lot.
That is a great point.
It would really be, you're right, it would be amazing.
What would it be called?
Rated?
Rated? Would it just be rated?
I don't know. I think Chris Webber was fabulous. But
I
yeah,
do
the
too.
whole thing was, I don't know. He just didn't always seem like a real happy guy when he was here.
No.
I hope he's happy
I don't
now.
think he was happy anywhere. It's never felt like he's ever been happy anywhere he was at. I mean,
I hope he's as happy as I am today to
Yeah.
win again and get to wear the helmet.
Look like a champion, man. You look like a champion. Maybe one day.
I don't think Chris has won since he proclaimed he was going to win.
I've actually lost 3 in a row, but who's counting?
Coming up next, since I've got the helmet on, we'll get back to some football here. And we'll let you know here why people who evaluate talent for a living in the NFL, they're still not sure what to make of this Brock Purdy guy. Next on Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track, makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
If you own a small to medium-sized business that kept employees on payroll through COVID, you may have a big cash refund waiting for you. The Employee Retention Credit is a tax credit of up to $26,000 per employee. And now, more businesses than ever qualify. The experts at RefundsPro.com specialize in cutting through the red tape of qualifying for this government program. Most of their refunds are over $100,000. Even businesses that have received PPP funds may be eligible. And there are absolutely no fees unless you receive a refund. So there's no reason not to apply. If your business experienced shutdowns, limited capacity, supply chain challenges, or reduced revenue due to COVID, you likely qualify. RefundsPro.com has already helped hundreds of businesses. So don't lose the refund you're owed by missing the deadline. Get started today with a free 5-minute questionnaire at RefundsPro.com. That's refunds with an S, pro.com.
Are you ready for the deal of a lifetime? This week only, get ready to rev up your savings at ElkGroveKia.com. It's the biggest sale event of the year, and you won't want to miss it. The doors swing wide open every day at 9 a.m., and we're unleashing the biggest selection of pre-owned and brand new vehicles you've ever seen. With so many options to choose from, you are sure to find the car of your dreams. But hold on to your seatbelts, because here's the best part. Our prices are so low, we can't even air them. Yes, you heard that right. Our prices are slashed to the bone, and they're so incredible that we can't even broadcast them. You have to come down and see for yourself. Don't wait. This is a 1-week only event. And to make it even better, you can drive away with your dream car right on the spot. No waiting, no hassle, just instant delivery right on site. Remember, the sale of the year happens this week only at ElkGroveKia.com. Doors open at 9 a.m. sharp. Don't miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Elk Grove Kia, where the biggest savings and the hottest wheels await.
Elk Grove Kia.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, even in a tough year for the A's, there are still some good baseball stories, including the one of former Oklahoma quarterback Cody Thomas. His career was on hold last year as he missed 4 months because of Achilles surgery. At the time of his call-up this year, he was leading the Coast League in RBIs, and the comeback was completed when on the last homestand he drilled a ball to right field for his first Major League home run. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
The story of the nurse and the foot pain that nearly brought him down.
I feel like I'm giving people their lives back.
Robert lived to take care of his patients, but he couldn't do it unless he took care of his foot pain.
I have plantar fasciitis. It'll almost put you on your knees. That's how much it hurts.
His own recovery started when he got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now that I'm pain-free, I can make these people feel better.
Can't beat that. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The universal truth of women's shoes. The cuter they are, the more they hurt.
You have to put your best foot forward, and if your best foot is an ugly shoe, oh my goodness.
Lisa Ann thought she had to choose between looking good and feeling good until she got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now I can wear the shoes that I've picked out because I like the way they look, not because they were comfortable.
Good Feet relieved her pain and her fashion dilemma. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports.
Yeah, anything can happen and usually does here with Whitey and Watkins.
Anything and everything.
I
Got to
think
keep you on your toes.
I think somebody's coming after us on the text line. And by the way, Bruce Jaramillo, thank you very much, Bruce. Appreciate your kind words. But somebody here at 916, they don't put their name on it. You guys okay? You guys go into saying there's only one, and I assume they're talking about when we said there's only one GOAT. Then you start dropping all the names, countering your earlier statement. Now, there's a lot of candidates for greatest of all time, but there can only be, by
one
definition, no matter how many names we mention, there can only be one greatest of all time.
Right. And it's an opinion thing. So it's not even saying you have to be right. But if you're going to say this is a GOAT, there's only one GOAT. There can only be one greatest.
Yeah.
So can't have a collection of great. I mean, you could have a collection of greatest, but I guess
but that's not
So
the greatest.
that's not the greatest.
Lionel Messi and Michael Jordan. You can say that. Right?
They are GOATs.
Yes,
of
those
their
are
sports.
GOATs.
Yes.
Well done.
Yes,
Okay.
they are GOATs of their sport, but individual GOATs of their sport, but not collective. There is a GOAT of GOATs also. Yes.
Perhaps you didn't hear, but Steph Curry, he's promoting his doc, and he said he was asked about who's the greatest of all time, and he said, I think there's more than one. So Chris and I vowing we are not going to watch a documentary until he cleans up that mess and answers the question.
Sorry, Steph.
I hate to go there.
I don't. I love to go there. It's just I mean, I will not watch a coward's documentary, and that's what he's being right now. It's just
why are you the way that you are?
Total coward, man. Just say something. Say yourself, for God's sake.
Sheena wanted to watch this weekend, and I found ways to she's a big Warrior fan.
Yeah.
But we watched the shattering conclusion of The Old Man with Jeff Bridges, and John Lithgow. Which I get really good. But anyway, so it's
we should talk about it for the next 3 minutes.
No, I don't think we need to do that. But at some point, Sheena's going to want to watch that documentary. And I'm going to have to tell her.
You're going to have to tell her.
I can't.
Yeah, you can watch it. She can take notes for us. She can do it for us because I'm not going to watch it either. But yeah, until this man comes out and puts his stamp down
Shows
on
a little
who's his
backbone.
GOAT. None at all. I mean, come on, bro. Like, say something. Like, you gotta have somebody, even if it's your dad, for God's sake, bro. Like, say somebody.
Right. It's an answer.
It's there's just too many options to pick from. Okay. All right. I'll remember that when I'm thinking of the greatest shooter of all time. I'll remember that it's too hard to think of one.
Whoa.
I'll be sure.
He is the goose, right? Greatest of outside shooters ever. Or is he?
I don't know. I don't know. It's so tough.
Yeah.
It's hard to compare eras because, the three, like, he's taking so many more threes than other people. Who is to say that,
You're right.
What would have happened if Michael Jordan would have been able, like, if he would have put that attention, he would have been the greatest shooter of all time, right, Steph?
I will say this on behalf of the Warriors and Steph. A lot of people talk about if the Bulls from 96 Bulls, if they played the Warriors, who would win?
Oh, that.
And a couple of those years, the 3-point line was closer.
Really?
They moved it in.
So it would have been a wrap then.
Yeah. If you moved it in and you played the Warriors.
Because then Draymond's adding to the equation as well at that point. I mean, then it's over. And I never thought that those conversations were real anyway, because, I mean, frankly, that Warrior team is out of control. Like, I mean, those Bulls teams, they have Michael Jordan, they've got Scottie Pippen, but the rest of the supporting crew really isn't anything spectacular.
The argument would have been that they would have just gotten knocked all over the floor.
Sure, absolutely.
Like bowling pins before they even brought the ball across half court. Just like what the Lakers used to do to Mike Bibby in those playoff series.
Just literally elbow to the mouth.
Yeah.
He fouled Kobe.
He did foul Kobe though. His face like ran right into Kobe's elbow. And you can't do that, dude.
There were things the Lakers did to Mike Bibby in that series that in the NFL now you'd be suspended. Not only would it be a penalty, you'd be suspended.
Mike could have used one of those leather hats when he was playing the Lakers. It was I mean, those series were incredibly physical, but that's really their only hope. Like that would have been the Bulls' only hope is to just muck it up. But even then, like, you can only do so much. Like I still would probably take the collection that the Warriors had.
Speaking of football, we mentioned this earlier. Maybe you've seen it in The Athletic, and congratulations, new subscriber.
New subscriber to The Athletic. Yeah, it took me a while, but $2 a month. Can't turn it down.
Yeah, the 2023 quarterback tiers results came out today. So it's another quarterback list. This is not just another quarterback list, because it is voted on by 50 NFL coaches and executives. And the people who do this for a living every year, Mike Sando, who I believe has some local ties. He's a great football writer, great guy. He comes up with it. He talks to the people, and then he gets their results, and he puts together this list. So tier 1, the best quarterbacks, best of the best, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Rodgers, Herbert. Tier 2, second best, it may have a hole or two in their games, Hurts, Jackson, Lawrence, Prescott, Stafford, Watson, Cousins. Tier 3, Murray, Carr, Goff, Wilson, Tua, Jimmy G, Jones, Smith, Fields, Tannehill, and Jones. That's Daniel Jones, Mac Jones. Tier 4, unproven player or vet who really you don't want starting 17 games. Brock Purdy's in that group.
I don't understand how he's in that group.
Along
like
with Pickett, Love, Mayfield, Howell, Ritter, and Minshew.
Especially directly in the article, it's directly up below the description of the tier, like a veteran who ideally would not start all 17 games. I think it's ideal if Brock Purdy is your 17 game starter. Like I would have
he's
no
the other.
issue.
It's one or it's unproven or
gotcha.
That I believe is how they look at it. Or a veteran that you would, you like having around, but you really don't want him starting every guy.
Even unproven though. I mean, like he's more. I mean, he's. I hear yes in the grand scheme of things. Yes, unproven, 7 total starts. Not the greatest sample size, but the guys above him also don't have a fantastic sample size.
I agree
either,
with you, but just trying to figure out how did they end up with that, and that's the only
Just some
explanation.
haters. I mean,
and he did barely miss on tier 3 for what that's
barely. Yeah, exactly. He's pretty
how is
much
Mac
a
Jones
tier
rated
3.
higher than Brock Purdy.
That's the thing is that the guys that are above him immediately,
Daniel Jones,
Mac Jones, even Daniel Jones,
Yeah.
right? Like Daniel Jones had, if anything, Daniel Jones fits the description more for that tier 4, where he had one good season last year, but besides that, it's been mainly like Daniel Jones isn't a starter quality guy. He did have a really good year last year, but I don't know if that's good enough. I mean, he's all the way up at 19 now on the list. I don't understand how that happens, and Brock Purdy is at 24, regardless of how much experience or not that he has. For him to be below guys like Ryan Tannehill, Justin Fields, who I think is still incredibly unproven as a passer, and you're talking about Mac Jones as well. I would just take Brock Purdy over those guys right now if I were starting a franchise.
Here is the money quote from a defensive coordinator. Actually, this is from an offensive coach. I apologize, anonymous. You put him, Brock Purdy, you put him on any other team, and they lose more than half the games. They got the best rushing offense. They got the top defense. He doesn't make mistakes, and he makes some plays with his legs. He gets the ball out. Good for him.
That's crazy. The fact that he's using all of those things as negatives is just wild. And like, I'm not even really a Brock Purdy massive supporter. Like, I don't think he's necessarily like one of the elite quarterbacks that we have in the NFL, but and it might be true that if you put him on a different team, he loses half of the games. But I think that's true for a lot of quarterbacks. Not everybody can be able to rise above their offensive weapons, but that doesn't mean he should be 24.
Yeah.
He shouldn't. I don't think he should be punished this much for having a good offense around him. He makes really good decisions, and I think that enough is good enough to put him above some of the guys that he's below.
People just aren't sure yet, and not just fans, but talking about these people, general managers, coaches, analytics guys, they're just not sure yet what he is. So you have to justify putting him lower. And, there's another coach who said, I thought he was a 4. When you watch the kid play, he's an absolute gamer. He has intangibles, the leadership. But when you look at him, these people do it for a living. He doesn't really overly impress you.
Yeah.
And as we said earlier, some of these people commenting on this, they're probably people that could have drafted him and didn't.
Yeah.
So they're trying to justify their own actions.
Well, that's what it sounds
trying
like.
to come to terms with the fact that they may have missed on a really good player.
That's what it sounds like. I mean, the fact that he's still talking about him, like, yeah, when you look at him, he's a tier 4. Well, okay, but he didn't play like a tier 4. And that's
No.
what should matter. That's what should be taken into account, is not what you thought he was, but what he was when you actually saw him play NFL games, not the evaluation beforehand. It's fine, whatever. Like, I'm splitting hairs here. Like, I'm upset about him being 24 and I feel like he should be 20. It's really not that big of a difference. But
when you look at the names there, I agree with you. When you look at the names there, that's pretty significant difference.
Yes,
it's only 4 spots.
Feels like it is. I mean, it feels like he's just, whatever. I guess, this is. I guess this could be an indication for Brock Purdy that he still does have some stuff to prove. Maybe people aren't as sold on him as some people here locally are. I even got to the point last year where, again, I wanted to hate. I was like, oh, come on, this guy is Mr. Irrelevant. There's no way you're telling me this guy all of a sudden is really good. But after 5-6 weeks of him doing it, proving it week after week, and it wasn't just, oh yeah, the 49ers are winning and Brock Purdy's their quarterback. He was a significant part of those wins. It became undeniable. Like, I had to reconcile with the fact that I can't hate on this guy anymore, because he's just proven it week after week. And after a while, you're fighting a losing battle, because he just continued to prove that he was the right, like he was making the right moves, and he was clearly the best option for them to go with.
If you look at the 49ers the last couple years, they have had a knack for coming together right about the midpoint or a little later of the season. They start slowly, and
that's
then they
usually
come
when
together.
they turn it around.
Yeah, and when Jimmy got hurt last year, it looked like, oh no, that's too bad.
Yeah.
But I think Brock Purdy came into the picture at just the right time for him. He still had to do it.
Yeah.
But I think the team as a team, they were starting to play really well.
Yeah.
So it's possible he wasn't as good as he looked last year. I don't know. We'll see. But with the reads he makes, it's going to be interesting if they stumble early, and if he's not as good as he was last year. That doesn't seem unrealistic. If people are going to start, asking for, well, what about Trey Lance? What about Trey Lance? But I think Brock Purdy is probably going to be the quarterback for the 49ers for a long, long time.
I think at least for this, I mean, I won't go further than this season, but I think this season he definitely is the best option to go with. I do wonder if he gets off to a slow start, how much of a grace period he's going to be given, because he's obviously coming off of this elbow injury. Like, I don't think that's just going to be something he can, step on the field and pick up right away. But I think
it's not here with him. It's here.
Right. It's mentally that's the best part for him.
I think I've told you about my buddy A1 Comics. Brian Peets used to play with the Seahawks, and A1 Comics, great store, by the way. And I think he was telling me one time about Dave Craig. Remember Dave Craig? I think he said Dave Craig couldn't throw at all, but he could read. He knew where to throw the ball.
Yeah.
He knew he could read the defenses really well.
And in Shanahan's
he knew
offense,
where to put the ball.
That's it. That's the game. And I mean, I'm sure maybe that's the argument that these executives and all of these football people are making, is that he is a product of the system and not necessarily an individual talent. But I think that you still need to be given credit for running that system at an incredibly high level. Like, it doesn't, it's not just like he's a robot and doing exactly what Shanahan's telling him to do. There is some level of Brock Purdy going out there and actually showing that he's the best option for this offense.
Yeah. Evaluators around the league still aren't quite sure. So we'll see what he can prove to them this year. Coming up next, because Chris always gets upset if we spend too much time talking about something other than Steph Curry. We're back to Steph Curry, who names the 3 toughest defenders he's ever played against.
Oh, gosh.
And one of them is a former Sacramento King.
Not a current?
Can you guess who that is? Nope.
Oh, man.
Can you guess who that is? The answer is next year. It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports has all your 49ers preseason coverage.
Nick Bosa right through the middle, throws down Matthew Stafford.
Nick Bosa is a rapper and wraps tight underneath.
Backwards pass to McCaffrey, and he's going to throw downfield wide open. Brandon Ayuk, touchdown! Christian McCaffrey can throw.
Catch every 49ers preseason game on Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and, and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Yeah, there goes my hero, Taylor Swift. Chris Watkins just telling me about her tour plans now. She finished up 2 spectacular shows at Levi's. I'm sure they were.
I'm sure they were great.
Yeah, like I said earlier.
I'm sure they were fantastic.
Yeah, you watch any of the video and that place is just alive.
Rocket.
And now she goes to LA for how many shows?
She says playing 6 shows at SoFi Stadium.
Wow.
I think I'd assume that's going to be the rest of this week. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
6 shows.
It's good for the economy.
It's great for Taylor's economy for sure. It's great for her pockets. That's I mean,
this seems like a
seems like
grab.
it. I just 6 shows seems a little excessive. Feels like I'm sure they're all sold out. And I'm sure everyone's going to be thrilled to see it, and I'm sure she's going to put on 6 great shows. But it just feels like that's probably like 3 or 4 too many. I don't know.
I think artists now, I could be wrong, but I think artists now, they have to rely more on touring because,
absolutely.
the record sales they just don't sell as many
Right.
records as they used to.
Yeah,
What's a record?
Exactly.
What now?
Yeah.
No, I mean, your Spotify streams don't really pay you like a lot of money. Like, I don't think you get a significant amount of money for having 100 million streams on Spotify or anything like that. And the way that, like you said, the way that a lot of these artists make their money nowadays is by being on tour, by collecting those ticket fees, and by collecting tons of merch. I mean, that's how the world goes at this point.
Mm-hmm. Steph Curry, meanwhile, while Taylor Swift's on tour, Steph Curry's kind of been touring to promote presumably his documentary. And that is nice that he
just general propaganda.
Yeah, he made Apple TV available to everyone, right? Yeah.
He did, I think he gave 2 free months to anyone who wants Apple TV. I think he posted it on his Instagram. So hop on that while it's still available. But
Get a chance to watch After Party.
What's that?
It's a show on Apple TV.
Oh.
So he was
the news desk.
He was on the Today Show, and Steph Curry revealed his list of toughest defenders. 3 players he named, including a former Sacramento King,
but not Davion Mitchell.
Not Davion Mitchell.
Do we need to send him highlights of Davion Mitchell clamping him up during the playoffs?
1 current player and 2 players who are no longer in the NBA. And Steph's been playing since what, 09?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Again, these aren't guys he's like, oh, he was a great defender. Guys he's played against. There's a group of 3 that always the light bulb went off when they were on the court. Said Curry, it's I didn't get to play too many games against that's the King guy. But he had the strongest hands you've ever seen in your life.
Meta World Peace?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah. I was hoping it'd be Doug Christie.
You should wear this.
I'll wear it. Give it over. Oh my God, he threw it. I looked away for half a second. I got to look at it. Which way does this go?
That's right.
I feel like I got to put it on underneath the headphones.
That was very well done, though.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry. I thought you wanted me.
I forgot I had my hat on, but oh man, this kind of makes it hard to hear.
You look like you're a 1920s stunt pilot.
I'm sorry.
No, you look like what Kenley Jansen would look like if he was
yes
1920s stunt pilot.
I feel like a winner. I do feel like I see why this
Look like a winner, you're gonna
I
feel like a
understand
winner.
why this is the prize for Factor Fantasy.
Yeah.
Feel a lot more secure. Now I can list off the fact that Trey Lance was 9 of 10 today at 49ers training camp. And if Whitey wants to throw something at me now, at least I have protection.
That's right. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't.
Yeah. But that was very well done.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Meta World Peace. It makes sense. Like, he was definitely one of the best defenders of that era. There's probably only like 2 or 3 years of crossover there. I had to guess. Meta probably stopped playing somewhere near 2011,
Yeah, I'm
2010.
trying to think because he was on that Laker team that won in 2009, right? But I think Steph was drafted that year.
Let's see.
Probably not many years.
He played until Ron kept it going for a bit. He played until technically 2016-17. So had a couple of years of crossover there, but not surprising. I mean,
Ron
yeah,
Artest, a
was
good
one
guy
of
to
the
know
best.
for the Immaculate Grid, right?
Oh yeah, great person to know
Yeah.
for the grid. Yeah, played for tons of teams, and I mean, not really somebody that many people think about, especially his stint here in Sacramento. So
Mhm.
yeah, it would be a great person.
The other guy who's no longer playing that Steph Curry lists is
Tony Allen.
That's exactly right. Again.
Oh, come on! You're too predictable, Wardell. Too predictable.
I'm very impressed.
And number 3, I want to say
Currently
Gary
playing.
Payton, but there's no way it's Gary Payton.
Number 3 is still playing.
Still playing Patrick Beverly?
No,
there's no way.
Even if that were true, he wouldn't
Marcus
say
Smart?
it. No. You know,
Loser.
Marcus Smart is hard to God, though.
He's really had to gad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tough guy.
This is a guy who has 2 brothers that play as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Lonzo?
And then one of his brothers played for the Kings.
Oh, okay.
Briefly.
So not Lonzo.
Briefly.
One of his brothers,
I believe,
played
yeah,
for the Kings.
Mhm.
This feels obvious, and I feel like I'm missing out here. I think
let's
this,
see.
this helmet might be
Christmas,
too tight on me.
4th of July, Halloween, Thanksgiving.
Drew Holiday.
There we go.
Holiday. That's great. That is.
Yeah.
That is.
It would be so nice.
That all those people have in common is that they like to push people around, and Steph Curry's not really one of the bigger guys, and that's really the thing that Davion Mitchell really locked in on a lot, was just being in his grill and being incredibly physical with him. And I think that's the thing, that if you're going to get Steph Curry off his game at all, it's going to just be like you mentioned with the Bulls matchup. Just physicality, like
If I had to
physicality.
guard him, if I read this, I said, "Oh, okay, I'm going to shove him."
Yeah, exactly. That's all I was
And
thinking.
you want to be really tough on him. Could you imagine if Davion Mitchell wasn't guarding him so well? He could have scored 50 in the playoffs.
I don't know why he would go there. What is the point of that? Yeah,
Feel good about that one. I did think that, though. I'm not gonna lie. That thought did cross my mind, because rightfully so. Everyone who watched the series would definitely say Davion Mitchell played incredible defense on Steph Curry. I was looking at those numbers like a month or so ago.
Yeah.
Steph Curry led his team in score. Like, he scored 30 points, I think, in every single game in that series.
Well, again, he did, especially in that 7th game, he did something that until the year before in the finals, people said he couldn't do. There are people say, "Oh, Steph's a great shooter, but he can't carry a team.
Right.
He just can't do that. He needs, he needs to play with Draymond." And then in the finals against Boston, then last year against the Kings, he's like, "No, he can do that too.
He can do it," and he did it. I mean, he was really the only thing that the Warriors had going for them in that series. And like Chris mentioned, I mean, his 50-point performance was really the nail in the coffin there that the Kings just didn't have an answer for. There was clearly no answer for Steph Curry that entire series, and no one really does have an answer. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it now. Steph had 28 in game 2 and 29 in game 6, but besides that, he had 30 in every single matchup. And we still say, rightfully so, if you watched it with your eyes, Davion Mitchell was locking him up and still only held him to 30.
Beeman on the chat says, "I don't think every decent player needs a documentary, or at the very least wait until they're actually retired." I mean, in all fairness, we know Steph's better than decent. But it's
for sure.
It's different now. It's not someone else going, "Hey, let's find a good topic for a documentary." It's the players themselves going, "How am I going to expand my legacy?"
Exactly. Your
so it's
brand,
like backwards.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's coming from, get out of the house.
It's from
coming
within.
The call's
Yeah,
coming from inside the house.
Calls
Yeah.
from inside the house.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what it is. I mean, like, nowadays, it's part of building out the brand. It's incredibly important. It's it's getting your name out there and making yourself so. Yeah, like, housewives will watch the documentary. Kids will watch the documentary. People 10 years from now will watch the documentary, and it'll, reinstill the fact that Steph Curry is one of the greatest shooters of all time.
He's the
if not the
greatest outside shooter ever. The Goose.
Yeah. But he would never call himself that because, it's too many different eras. It's tough.
Coming up next, 4 teams facing the most pressure in the upcoming NBA season, and we'll revisit this nonsense about a Sacramento King being the most overrated player in the NBA.
Ridiculous.
That's when Whitey and Watkins continues on Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins. Sactown Sports.
It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa. Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. Golf to Go. Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get ready for a night with Cole Swindown. The 2023 ACM Song of the Year winner hits Hart Health Park at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Saturday, September 9th for the CITP2 Fest. And Cole's bringing some friends like Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, Matt Stell, and more. Tickets start at $40 at CITPFest.com.
Mosley Collins Injury Lawyers present the 6th Annual All-American Rib Cook-Off, Saturday, August 12th at Recreation Park in Auburn. Now a Kansas City Barbecue Society-sanctioned competition. Get your rib ticket at allamericanribcookoff.com and enjoy live music, the Kids Zone, and more. Thanks to Auburn Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Garrison Brothers and Commercial Van Interiors. Proceeds help Crime Victims United and other local charities. Tickets are limited, so get yours now at allamericanribcookoff.com.
Marvel and Rivercats Baseball unite. Marvel Defenders of the Diamond Night returns to Sutter Health Park on Saturday, August 5th when the Rivercats host the Reno Aces. Purchase the Defenders of the Diamond ticket pack and get exclusive access to a pregame meet and greet with superheroes Captain America and Black Panther. You'll also receive a limited release New Era hat featuring a Marvelized Rivercats logo. The fun continues postgame with a fireworks show presented by Sutter Health. Join the fun and purchase your tickets at rivercats.com. Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry. Categories are filling up.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. Colts running back Jonathan Taylor has requested a trade, but the team has named him to the non-football injury list. ESPN says sources said he reported back pain during a pre-training camp physical that was not sustained while playing for the team. Taylor responded on X, formerly Twitter. 1, never had back pain. 2, never reported back pain. Not sure who sources are, but find new ones. The U.S. women's team faced Portugal for a chance to advance to the round of 16. The U.S. will advance with either a win or a draw tonight. If the U.S. does lose to Portugal, they can still advance with the Netherlands' loss to Vietnam. Kickoff is at midnight. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
We are roughly, by my math, 25 and a half hours away from the Major League Baseball trade deadline, which will be tomorrow at 3 p.m. our time, 6 p.m. Eastern. Here's what we have on the Giants. We have a story from John Morosi, MLB Network today, that the Giants are among 10 buyers attempting to upgrade their starting pitching. Per his report, you got the Giants, Dodgers, Orioles, Astros, Rays, Diamondbacks, Reds, Marlins, Phillies, and Atlanta. They're all hoping to land one of the top arms on the market. And since there's so much demand for the top arms, then those who have those players and are willing to trade them are asking for a lot. The Giants have, as you may have heard, they've been tied to Justin Verlander, and they have several potential trade fits with the Tigers, who have two of the best starting pitchers expected to be traded. We mentioned earlier, Michael Lorenzen, Eduardo Rodriguez. Giants also have some of the most starting pitching depth among potential buyers, so that may make them less likely to part with valuable pieces to get these guys when the asking price is probably going to be pretty high.
Yeah. I mean, the Giants need to do something. I think that adding to the lineup, I think would be where I would look first. But I think, if they're capable of bringing in an arm like Verlander or one of the Tigers guys, I think they should absolutely go for it because, as the Giants, formula for success has been in the postseason is to have some really dominant pitching, and you cannot go wrong, especially in the postseason, having a really good rotation of some starters that can shut down games for you. That's a good way of staying in postseason games, especially.
Yeah, but, these kids today in baseball, what are the starter goes? 5 innings? It used to be in the old days.
Like that, yeah. I mean,
Gibson, you go
innings. 7, 8, 9 innings 50. For sure, especially in bigger games.
Where are you from?
Yeah, I know. I was trying to figure that out. Yeah. I was like,
I'm from 1958.
From that time, everyone sounded like that back then.
Everybody. I was like, is this like New York? Is this like?
Yeah. Okay. You would have to go out and strangle the guy to get the ball from his glove. He wouldn't just wander off the mound. Now you got guys in the third inning. They're looking over his shoulder. Is anybody warming up? Because I'm getting tired. I'm getting winded.
It's crazy.
I got your wool for you.
They're soft. These
very soft.
These pitches these days, they soft, man. They're not like the guys back in our day. When they would go full
back
days.
In your day, what year you from?
Yeah, they would go.
You sound like the situation.
Oh my gosh, no thanks. Well, I'm gonna cut that then. Yeah,
it is a lot different
situation.
You don't want a guy to throw 100 pitches. You don't want a guy to get hurt. And
no, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean it's different times, and like it's
more
for
story.
longevity.
You ever heard the story? Yeah, you're a youngster. You probably haven't heard of Juan Marichal against Warren Spahn.
No.
1-0. I
sounds like a snooze fest.
16 innings.
Oh my god!
Complete
16
game.
innings, and it was 1-0.
Yeah,
you gotta be
one of the greatest games ever.
You gotta be kidding me. Was anyone awake to see it? Fell asleep in inning 11, woke up 14,
really was.
15, and
I got to make sure I got the number of innings right. Yeah.
This thing's still going on?
But
incredible.
They both went the whole way.
2 pitchers went 15-plus innings.
Best pitch game in baseball history.
That's ridiculous. I mean,
July 3rd, 1963.
Well, then watch. They pitched like 3 days later, too.
They probably did.
Yeah.
They did.
These guys.
They could have pitched the next day.
Threw 150 pitches and then step out 3 days later and throw a complete game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different. I mean, like,
It's different now because we're smarter.
Well, right. I mean, it allows Verlander to pitch until he's 40 years old. It's not, especially in these, meaningless midseason games. Like, why do you need to go 7, 8, 9 innings? Yeah. I mean, come playoff time, sure. I mean, if the situation calls for it, these guys I would hope are still capable of going the distance, but also, that kind of thing. It takes reps, and you got to get used to it. It's not just something you can hop into.
Real quick here, because I know I mentioned it. I apologize for not getting to it a little sooner. I believe this is from Sports Illustrated. 4 teams, NBA teams that face the most pressure. Four clubs facing the most pressure heading into the next season. Sixers, Clippers. Yeah, I should have let you guess because you're on fire. They got the Sixers, the Clippers, the Suns, and the Celtics. What do you think of that list?
I mean, I don't know how much pressure the Clippers really have on there, but I think besides that, I would agree. I think the Sixers, obviously, with bringing in Nick Nurse for Doc Rivers, I mean, that's a championship move. If you're doing that, that's because you're really close to making the conference title, but they feel like Nick Nurse can take them to another level. They absolutely have tons of pressure. Suns, for very obvious reasons, just obliterating through all of the tax aprons and spending the money that they have. They got to win. I mean, they have to win a title, especially as Kevin Durant is getting up there in age. You got to maximize his window. And, he said the Celtics were the 4th team on top of that.
Yeah.
They always have pressure to win. I mean, that's always going to be the case, especially when you're paying Jaylen Brown the money he's getting not next season, but the following. And then you're going to have to pay Tatum as well.
Yeah. The deal with the Clippers is Kawhi and Paul George. Kawhi, by the way, who also made that most overrated list.
Number 4, though.
Sabonis is on. It's like, what?
He's not on it. He's number 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 1.
Kawhi and Paul George can opt out of their deals after this season. So, you lock those two up.
Sure.
By offering long-term deals to guys that just, you don't know if they're going to play or not.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, then
get James Harden.
That's exactly what I was going to say. If you throw James Harden in that situation, I understand how there's all the pressure in the world, but what's different this year than last year with the Clippers or the year before that? I don't really see how there's any added pressure besides, I mean, yeah, the contracts definitely are a thing, but the Clippers also aren't in a position to really move on from those guys. I think they're kind of locked into Kawhi and Paul George unless they end up trading one of them. But I always feel like I'm going to be made a fool, but I feel like next year, if they can remain healthy, why can't it be the Clippers? I think they with Paul George and Kawhi, you've got 2 of the elite forwards in the league. You're going to have a chance to win a title.
The thing that would make me nervous were I a Suns fan is that you don't have a lot of depth, although they have addressed that, but you're going to rely a lot, of course, on Beal and Durant, 2 guys who've got, recent history, especially Durant. They get hurt a lot.
Yeah. I mean, like both of those guys, I mean, again, KD's getting up there in age. He's had a lot of lower body injuries. He's a 7-footer.
What was he doing last year? Was he walking across the floor or something?
No, he was warming up.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone slip he didn't really slip. He twisted his ankle in warm-ups and was out for 2 weeks because of it. I mean, it's those kind of things that'll stack up, and they're not really, like you said, I mean, their depth really hasn't put them in a position where they can afford those kind of injuries to their stars.
I would also add the Warriors to that list.
I think so. I mean, this is kind of I don't want to say a last dance, but with the age of,
well, they're trying to avoid that. That's part of the pressure.
Right.
Can you extend this thing?
I don't think so. Especially with Chris Paul being their move in, the piece that they bring in for Jordan Poole. That's not a future focused move. That's
doubling down
right
on
now.
Draymond and Chris Paul. You're right. Both of those are like, we're going to win now.
That's a lot of pressure.
2 timeline plan.
No thanks. Yeah. I mean,
that's going the way of the A's Vegas stadium plans. You can throw it out.
Exactly. Yeah. Throw that out the window. There's no more planning for the future. They're just going to go. And I think it was the right move to go all in now, but you're right. It does create a lot of pressure on this season. They've got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Coaching
his last
well.
year, I think.
A lot. Yeah. Coaching. Yeah. Possibly in his last year. I'm pretty sure his contract's up at the end of the year. I know Clay's contract is also up at the end of the year. There's some whiffings of some last dance-ish type vibes there in Golden State. And I think, obviously that's going to lend itself to tons of questions and tons of pressure for sure. Sacramento too, you could argue. I mean, to prove, everybody's got some level of pressure on them, but the Kings also have to prove that last year wasn't a fluke. And, they're going to have to Domantas Sabonis has to prove he's not the most overrated player in the NBA also, I guess.
But it's different because for the other teams, some of these teams, I mean, they're looking at, look, if this doesn't work, we're going to have to go a whole nother way. The Kings, if things don't work out,
right?
Yeah, as Monte McNair said, you want to be able to pivot, but they like the foundational pieces for the most part. They're not looking at like, if we don't win, we got to tear this whole thing down.
Right. No one's getting fired this year. Mike Brown's not getting fired.
Yeah.
Monty's not getting fired. They're not going to trade Sabonis. They're not going to trade De'Aaron Fox. There's definitely not the most pressure on these guys, but I mean, there still is some level of expectations that they have to meet because it's going to be really easy for everybody in the national media or just outside of Sacramento to say, oh, I guess last season was just a complete fluke and we don't need to worry about this team ever again. So I think in terms of proving it to others, I think next season's going to be big just for the future reputation of the Kings.
Yeah. And the Celtics really interesting after paying all that money to Jaylen Brown. At some point, you've got to win.
You've got to win. Yeah. I mean, they've made their move. They're all in on that duo. And if yet again next year they flame out late in the playoffs, it's going to be all right. Well, what's going to be different for the next 4 or 5 years? Or are we just going to continually run this circuit of getting really close, but not getting close enough?
The crossover is coming up. We'll look at Domantas Sabonis and how ridiculous the assertions about him being the most overrated player in the NBA are when we continue here. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. The Kings are running it back.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes. Alex Lynn just went above the iron with a two-hand throwdown. Yeah, that was as nasty as we've seen him in a Kings uniform.
And welcoming some new faces.
Oh, and here comes Vezenkov. He gets the big finish.
Fisher rejected by Mr. Vezenkov.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Enjoy the prime grilling season today with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My personal Napoleon P500 series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
Relive racing history with hundreds of historic race cars at the Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion, August 16 to 19. Hundreds of the best from the high-revving Formula One Ferraris and Lotuses to the ground-pounding thunder of the Cobras and Corvettes. Meet legendary drivers, indulge in delicious food and refreshing beverages, and take a spin on the Ferris wheel or go-kart to add to the family experience. VIP hospitality passes to the Legends Club are still available. Buy your tickets now at WeatherTechRaceway.com.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pi customer.
As a small business, we're always looking for ways that we can offer the quality product and get some cost savings.
Meet Michelle from J.J. Pfister Distilling Company, a small business in California. When looking for workers' comp coverage tailored to the company's needs, she discovered Pi Insurance.
We heard about Pi Insurance being geared for a small business, gave Pi a call, and ended up switching.
Is your small business overpaying for workers' comp insurance? See how much you could save at trypi.com. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate, so your workers' comp audit experience is simplified.
We saved about 30% off of our workers' comp insurance when we switched to Pi.
It's as easy as pie to get the savings you deserve. What are you waiting for? Ask your agent for Pi. Or get a quote in 3 minutes at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Day for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
This is kind of disorienting because J Mars is here. What time? I thought we were almost done with our show. And J Mars and
during the daylight.
Kyle Draper with
Thank
us.
you. Thank you.
Afternoon.
Happy to be here.
What's going on?
So they asked, they're like, hey,
Yeah.
don't know if you heard about this, but the afternoon show's not a thing anymore. So we're going to have some fun. You want to have some fun this week? And I'm like, so wait, I got to hang with Draper. So obviously,
Yeah,
cool.
that's
win.
That's a win.
But more than that or anything, I told you guys, I slept last night.
Wow.
I love that for you.
Weird.
Got a glow to you.
Thank
today.
you. That's what Simone said.
Yeah. That's great. It must be true.
Right. And, given my pale skin, for me to glow is something.
It's something. It's definitely something.
So like 6 more months of sleeping and you'd be all caught up.
Pretty much. Yeah, just
that's
6.
all it would
That's
take.
all.
6 straight months.
Right.
Just hibernate for 6 months.
But no, man, happy to be here. We're going to have fun. We're going to have a good show today.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, quite a combo we got. What did you guys make of this? The Athletic, I know you're going to be talking about the 49ers today, but the Athletic, every year they have their quarterback tiers. These are based on evaluations from insiders like head coaches, coordinators, executives, analytics guys. And here's what they have. Tier 1, Mahomes, Burrows, Allen, Rodgers, Herbert. Tier 2, these are guys that are pretty good, but they got a hole in their game. Hurts, Jackson, Lawrence, Prescott, Stafford, Watson, Cousins. Tier 3, Murray, Carr, Goff, Wilson,
The
Tua,
elite quarterback that is Jared Goff.
Jimmy, Daniel Jones, Smith, Fields, Tannehill, Mac Jones. Tier 4 is where you got Brock Purdy. So, yeah, evaluators, the guys who do this for a living.
Are you upset at the Brock Purdy ranking?
Brock Purdy
Tier 4?
behind Mac Jones.
Yeah, Brock Purdy hasn't proven anything. He caught lightning in a bottle. He's the NFL's version. Exactly. We're going to be talking,
My friend, we're going to be disagreeing.
All right. Come on.
Light fuse, get away.
We got Jeremy Lynn Sanity all over again.
Brock
But okay.
Purdy showed in 8 games last year he's a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo.
I could say that. I could say they're about the same thing.
But we got Jimmy in tier 3.
But he's 18th, and then Brock Purdy's 24th. It's not that big of a difference. To me, it's really only 2 tiers and then everybody else.
Okay.
Because after the top 2 tiers, everybody else pretty much.
It's just the rest of the guys.
You don't want them as your quarterback to lead you to the Super Bowl.
And you would probably agree. Kirk Cousins doesn't have a hole in his game. It's more like holes, plural, lots of S's at the end.
He's right at the end of tier 2.
Yeah,
In all fairness, and I'm with you, Jay, but Purdy is just at the top of tier 4, but he is still, I think you look at the comments from people around the league, they're just not sure yet what to make of.
Can I ask you guys all 3 this? Would the conversation on Purdy be completely different if he was a second-round pick and not the last pick of the draft the year before?
Yes.
I think that's where all of this comes from. It's like, well, he was picked last for a reason. And everyone's hanging on to that thread.
And some of the people making this evaluation are people that passed on him.
Right.
That could have drafted him. So, they're like, I could have drafted him, but you know what? Here's what they're justifying the decision in their own mind.
Not going to perjure themselves.
Yeah, and they hope that they're right.
Right.
Yeah.
They won't be, but that's fine.
I'll tell you
You're
what.
an anti-Purdy guy.
No, one thing we won't have on the 2 to 6 show, and Jay Mars, I'm telling you this, is a San Francisco 49ers homerism.
Okay.
I don't, it's like our guys are much better than everybody else's. Brock Purdy is who he is. And we'll get into this, of course, but this will be the downfall of the Shanahan era, the quarterback position. Brock Purdy is not the answer. Trust me on that.
Okay. Well, I'm interested to talk about this. By the way, I don't homer. I'm harder on my teams than most people. Like, everybody.
If Brock Purdy played for the Raiders, you would be having the same argument I'm having here.
If Brock Purdy played for the Raiders, the guy would be dead in week 8 because nobody can block.
That's true.
That's true.
Scores, baby.
Yeah.
Brock can see it. He sees it. It's hard to understand. You watch him. It's like, I think he's okay, but he sees things other guys don't see, and he gets it out.
Boom. Yes.
And they win.
Yeah, and you're going up against the guy who, Jimmy G got hurt. And I tell people, I'm like, once you got past that first read with Jimmy Garoppolo, just hold your breath because you didn't know the ball was either flying into someone else's hands or Jimmy was going to be on the ground.
Do you think Trey Lance could be the answer, if I may ask?
I think he can be, but we'll never know. That's the problem. He's never been given a real shot without getting hurt. And so to me, when I talk about the undoing of Shanahan and Lynch, it'll be Trey Lance and it'll be that quarterback position.
Do you guys think Darnold is like a sneaky, if he gets a chance to get in at some point this year,
I think Kyle loves him. And I don't know that that's a good thing, but I think he loves him. What's funny is when he was on the Jets, that Monday night game, what did he say? Oh, I'm seeing ghosts.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you hear Darnold was just staying at George Kittle's house? And he literally says he saw a ghost.
No, I did not hear that.
Yeah, it's like, incredible. Wait, what? He said, yeah, there was something going on. He literally sees ghosts.
I'll say this. If you had to pick anyone on the Niners roster, you go to their house and see a ghost, it's George Kittle.
Yeah,
it's definitely George
Kittle. It was
Kittle's
probably
house.
Kittle.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think Darnold would be fine with the Niners offense. I think that's more of a product of Shanahan, being the wizard that he is.
And isn't that kind of the thing with all three of these guys quarterbacking, is you can make an argument basically because of the offense they're in and the weapons they have around them.
They'll all be
there's
fine.
just you put any of the three in, I feel like they're going to be okay.
Yeah. Well, and that's the argument that I most understand for Purdy being in tier 4 is that the weapons that he has around him, a lot of people could thrive with them. But also, I mean, like you said, like Jimmy Garoppolo was also in that system, and Brock Purdy looks better in that system than Jimmy G ever did.
Listen to this, Jay. Kyle Draper may have written this, but supposedly it's an offensive coach in this athletic store. Offensive coach anonymously says, you put Brock Purdy on any other team, they lose more than half the games. They got the best rushing offense. They got the top defense. He doesn't make mistakes, and he makes some plays with his legs. He gets the ball out. Good for him. That's the quote.
He gets the ball out. Good for him.
Good for him.
Crazy. Because, because there's 31 other quarterbacks in the league apparently have no issue getting the ball out, right?
Yeah.
That's
what I said.
That sounds like, again, somebody has a little bone to pick with the Niners. Just a little bit. Is Kenny Pickett ahead of him?
No, he's just below.
Okay, I was like, wait, is Kenny Pickett
which is
ahead of
also
him?
like, Brock Purdy is sandwiched between Mac Jones and Kenny Pickett.
It goes Fields, Tannehill, Mac,
Purdy. And I agree with Draper that it's kind of nitpicky here. Like we're talking about 24, and I feel like he should be near 20, but it's more of just the drop in tier that I have.
But here's the issue I have with Brock Purdy and the 49ers. When you look at the teams around 22, 23, the 49ers are the only ones with true Super Bowl aspirations.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
You look at those other quarterbacks, Mac Jones, Patriots, great organization. They're not going anywhere. You look at Kenny Pickett, they're not going anywhere. Shanahan is handing over the keys to the castle, the keys to the Porsche to Brock Purdy, according to this, the 24th best quarterback.
But you know what Shanahan would tell you, rightly or wrongly, say, well, he's much better than that. They're just wrong.
Yes.
That's what, yeah.
Also, and everyone, because it was my favorite argument with Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, look how many games he's won. As a starter, they just win when Jimmy G's the quarterback.
Wins. Yeah.
Outside of, again, getting hurt in the Eagles game, and I don't know if they would have beaten the Eagles even if he would have stayed healthy.
I don't think so.
8-0 going into that game.
Yeah,
he hadn't lost.
We'll see. What do you guys have coming up today?
A lot of that. I guess.
A lot of that. Exactly. We are like totally on the opposite sides of the aisle when it comes to that. We got to get into this Domantas Sabonis overrated thing that Bleacher Report. I mean, the slander for the Sacramento Kings continues. Usually it's just ESPN, right? Yeah. ESPN, right? Now Bleacher Report. So we're going to have them in our bullseye.
I'm going to say Bleacher Report's overrated.
I would agree with you.
As a publication, Bleacher Report's overrated.
I would agree with that. You have my vote. Also,
thank you.
You hear about Bosa, Hargrave, Eric Armstead on that 49ers defensive line. We got a couple players you might want to be paying a little more attention to. That's not one of those three.
Tabor Pepper.
Interesting. Yeah, great long snapper. Kyle Draper, J Marks are next right here. Where else? Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
One, the only, the great leader of this great city, Mayor Darrell Steinberg.
It was just time to